nature photography over there and a few other that are in here waiting. Hey, Greg, if you got to work, man, you go do your thing. It's what you got to do. We understand that. But I'm in here with my good friend, Mr. Jeffrey Neville of Selective Imagery. I hope you guys are following him and checking out everything that's going on his channel. And yeah, we're going to have a good time today. We got a couple of things to talk about, but more than anything, I think we're going to talk about this photo review coming up. So, all right. Jeffrey, how are you today, buddy?
Doing good. Recovering from walking 2.5 miles on the beach on Monday to try to get some different footage for a video, and my knees don't like me anymore.
It's funny. I was just thinking about that right before the show started, before I started chatting with you. In my 20s, actually 20s and 30s, up till about 35, 36, I was invincible, man. I mean, in my mind, I was absolutely invincible. And then I hit that point where, through my mid 30s to mid 40s, where, okay, I'm not as invincible as I once was, but I'm still, I'm hanging. I never thought I'd get old. It's just something you just don't accept when you're, you're very in a physically demanding job or whatever. But I recognize that I had slowed down just a little bit. Now in my 60s, I realize that all that's changed, man. Now I dug out about a 200 square foot area down under my deck, going out the basement that needed to be completely cleaned out, and then put new gravel back in it. And it took me about 5 days to get that job done. Whereas when I was in my 20s, that would have been a 1 day job. So I recognize that those days are gone, but still kicking, still going. Roy says, betrayed by our own bodies. Absolutely. That's what it is. Exactly. In the immortal words of Toby Keith, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was.
Well, my
Hello.
wife's comment every morning. My wife's comment is, "What hurts on you today?" Because every day it's
Exactly.
different.
Yeah, I get that. My wife says, why are you taking ibuprofen? What's wrong? Well, I'm getting older and things just don't work like they used to. Arthritis and everything else. So hello everybody in here. Wow, a lot of people jumping in here. Charles, glad you made it home in time. How you doing, John Young? Ted, good to see you. David, good to see you. We've been commenting a little bit back and forth on his latest video. If you guys haven't been over to Demoots Photography, go check it out. His comparison between the 100 to 400 and the 400 4.5. Very interesting. And see what you're give him a comment on what you're seeing. We chatted about it. Both lenses look fantastic, though. It's going to be a tough choice for some people, unless you're just a prime freak or a zoom freak. It makes it a little bit easier. Mike Farwell, good. How you doing? Good morning. Roy Bigsby, good evening. It's a late evening for you, isn't it, Mr. Roy? Good to see you. Darren, how you doing?
Low
Let's
long
see.
rider.
Long rider jump in there. I'm trying to go down the list and catch everybody here.
Wow.
So
Good crowd.
Yeah, Charles. So Simon, I haven't seen that yet. I got to go check it out. Simon just released a rumor that Z8 will be announced in August. I hope he's right. I'm beginning. My opinions are getting all squashed now with what Nikon's up to and what they're doing. So I'll try to sort it out in my own head and come up with my prediction. I do believe we're going to get something here. I had said October. I thought it would be. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something sooner. Ray Powell, good afternoon. How you doing, sir? Let's see. Doll 7772. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I got your photo, by the way. David Brandsma, good morning. Charles says, I don't even want to talk about what my body's doing to me. Charles, you're in good company because we're all feeling the same way, brother. Yeah, Long Rider said, that's the one thing that you get in age. With age comes wisdom and the ability to say, I'm slowing down without guilt. You're absolutely right. If you only had this wisdom back when I was in my 20s, man, I'd be running the country right now. How you doing, Gustavo? Good to see you. RS, good morning. Uh, let's see. Hero Shots, good to see you, man. Nikon Brothers. uh, Life is good. This is Mike Farwell. Life is good. Been binging on Seth Miranda lighting videos. Binging. I'm sorry. He's funny, and he knows his trade. He does. He absolutely does. You can't take that away from him, Mike. Even for a Brooklyn guy. Getting old is better than the alternative. Absolutely, Roy. I'll agree with that.
Well,
Yeah,
we don't get a preview of coming attractions. That's the problem.
that's true. That's true. And Sith Sense, good morning. How you doing? All right. So we got quite a few people in here already. It's good to see that. Hey, the first bit of business is I put that poll up. Everybody get a chance to see the poll I put up, and it's talking about, let me go back and I'll check it real quick and read it to you. Backed by popular demand, we're doing another photo review on AP Studios. This time it'll be the entire show or as long as it takes to get through all the photos that you guys submit. Here's a chance to show your work with the community. Please save your photo, and I'll reiterate this in a minute. I won't go into that right now. Posting a poll to see what's best for you guys. So it looks like right now Saturday night is the preferred night or preferred show to do it on. I kind of expected that. So I think I've picked a date. You guys can tell me whether the date's satisfactory. I picked a date of 6 August to do the photo review show, and that's on a Saturday night. That gives everybody plenty of time to go through if they want to take a new photo or just scrounge through their archives and post or bring a photo to the table. Either way, it doesn't matter. So back to the size of the photo. If you guys would do this for me, I'd appreciate it. Unless you just possibly can't because of a crop or something. 2048 pics on the long side, whatever the long side is, whether it's vertical or portrait or landscape. 2048 pics, 2048 pics on the long side. That gives us plenty of room for me to fill the screen up here when we're doing the photo review. Everybody that submits a photo, if you would, just make sure you put in the how did I say this? Let me look real quick. Yeah, on the long side, email it to me at chuckomail at yahoo.com. And the title of the email, just please put in the title photo review submission or something close to that. So I know when I see that with my email, my box fills up pretty quick. But I'll go through looking for something in the title, and if it's from you guys, or if I don't know your email, I may pass by it. So anyway, photo review submission or something close to that. I'm going to take all the photos, put them into one folder, and when we do the review, I'm going to open them all up in ACR so that we can scroll through each photo, and if we want to zoom, we can or whatever. So that's going to be on August 6th, and we're all going to have a good time. I don't care if the Z8 comes out tomorrow. When we do the photo review, we're going to talk about it because everybody seemed to have a good time. And maybe this is something that we need to do more often in the community. So that'll be on August 6th, and I'll bring it up again Saturday night. We're talking about it now. If anybody has a theme or something, because not many people commented on that, if you just maybe this first one, if you just want to submit your favorite photo, that's fine. Whatever photo you want to submit, that's absolutely okay. Maybe in the future here, we'll do this again in a month or so, and we'll try to choose a theme that's common to all or pushes people out of their comfort zone to do something different. Maybe that would be good too. So August 6th, we're doing the photo review, and that's what that stream is all about, just us talking about our photos. All right. And I had some other news. Did I have other news real quick? No, just get to the topic or whatever you guys want to talk about as usual. But I threw a topic in the primer for the stream today about let's talk about photography using your gear rather than the gear itself. It doesn't mean we won't mention gear, but the point is that let's get into a photography talk and start talking about things, whether you use lights, how you use lighting for your photos. I think I put that in the primer. how are you lighting portraits? Is it natural light, or are you using artificial light, on camera, off camera flash? That's just a starter. That doesn't mean we have to stick to that. But anyway, hopefully we'll get a chance to pick everybody's brain here for what they're doing. So Darren Francis is talking about, I'm shooting pro basketball game on Saturday night. Wow, that's great, man. That's great. Congratulations. I know it's not easy to break into that or get a chance to do that. So fantastic. Maybe that's what you're going to share with us on the 6th of August in the photo review, but that's entirely up to you. But again, congratulations. Charles says nothing but respect for you, Long Rider. Don't even care what you shoot. And I agree with that, Charles. I don't care what everybody shoots here. Let everybody shoot what they want. Let's just have fun talking about. It's hard to get away from Nikon with the things that are going on right now. So you guys got to excuse me on my little rants. And by the way, I've accepted the Z30. I'm not saying it's a bad camera. I'm hoping that it does extremely well. And I know that a lot of people out there are talking about picking one up. So that'll be great. Even Mr. Mozman sent me gave me a comment talking about maybe he'd pick up a Z30 to use for the photo review. I think it'd be great if he did. So Roy says he's still hoping for the 200 to 600 or the 85 in October. I hope we see it in October, at least by October, Roy. We'll see what happens.
They're both so long overdue. At least that's what it feels like to me, that they're so long overdue. It's kind of frustrating, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is. And you weren't here for the last photo review. Well, what I want to do is I want to stick to one photo by individual. The only reason for that is we may get a big outpouring for this, and it gives us plenty of time to talk about each photo and maybe go back and do a side by side with somebody else or whatever you guys want to do. But one photo, and that way we've got plenty of time to get through all the photos that are submitted. So I know last time I'd get 2, 3, or 4, and I really don't want to be the guy that picks one of your 4 photos to put up. I want you to do that because I'll pick the wrong one, no doubt about it.
Or you pick none and say, I didn't like any of them.
Yeah, there you go. Be one of those typical armchair quarterbacks that, you know, I can't shoot what you're shooting, but I don't like it. And here's why.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, man. Charles talking about he used to enjoy shooting sports. Gotten older, I tend to do more landscape and sunsets. Nothing wrong with that. Goes right along with our age conversation earlier, Charles. Let's see. Oh, the email address. Yes, sir. Hang on just a second. I can do that. So email whatever you've got to AP, not AP Studios, but chuckomail@yahoo.com. I don't know why I wrote it that way. Email AP Studios at chuckomail@yahoo.com. Yeah, absolutely. You guys, you got till August 6th. So, you know, you may change your mind if you drop something now, unless you're absolutely certain that's what you want. But if you change your photo between now and then and send me another email, make sure you put in that email, hey, Chuck, this is the photo I want. I changed my mind or something like that. No, not raw, only because you can take a raw photo and just save it as a JPEG after you've edited, and you guys make the decision as to whether you want to edit it or straight out of the camera. It doesn't matter, but if it's straight out of camera, just make sure you indicate that because we'll want to, you know, highlight that.
I see a question here I'd like to tackle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Comment: can a zoom lens have as fast autofocus as a prime? New 2600 as fast as a new 600. And I'm going to say, when you say can a zoom have as fast autofocus, it could, but I don't know that one ever has been as fast because you're paying more for the prime lens. So you normally get the better motors, the faster motors put in the primes more so than you do on the zooms. So typically the prime tends to be, well, faster pretty much in all cases, as far as I know. If somebody knows an instance where where a zoom with the long end equivalent to a prime is as fast. I'd love to hear about it.
All right, I'm gonna throw my email down there in the scrolling banner and just leave that up instead of the phone number right now. Let me find my place here and get back.
You got all this fancy stuff going on, Chuck.
Man, all this high tech that
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't be allowed to touch. That's why my audio is always fighting me. Like I was saying earlier, Jeffrey, I think Gremlins come in here at night and change some of the settings, and then I have to go back and find it. All right. Yeah, yeah. On the zoom lens, it can be. Yeah. Do you expect it to be? Not most of the time. However, again, I would suggest you guys go check out D Moot's photography. David did the comparison between the two, and you may be able to ask him a question, or he may address it even in here about the focus speed. But it looked fantastic to me, and that's the difference between a zoom and a prime now with the new Z mount. Greg Wilson just got the 1-400. Really cool. I like the close focus. Yeah, I do too. The close focus on that lens is remarkable. I mean, it's close to a macro lens. It really is. 400 millimeter. You know, I don't know what it renders. I know it's not 1-to-1, obviously, but it's still pretty daggone good. Darren talking about shooting hockey, mainly hockey games, shot using D5, Nikon D850, 750, gold camera. Okay, 6 strobes using Pocket Wizards. I got a bunch of Pocket Wizards that I don't even use anymore. So, netcam housing with D750 inside the gold shots. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. All right, do you have I need to go check out your portfolio. You have a page, a YouTube channel, or something we can all go check out? Sounds like something everybody'd like to see, man. Everybody likes to see sports shots. Mike Farwell talking about the lighting question earlier. I like to keep it simple, natural light when I can, but I prefer control light situation, one key light and a reflector for portraits. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to try to pull everybody out of their comfort zone on one of these photo reviews, and we're going to do a themed shoot. Not themed, but I guess you could call it a theme. The theme will be using something other than natural light. And I don't care if it's a incandescent bulb or a strobe light, a speed light, or whatever, because it doesn't have to be anything you have to go out and purchase, but just try to get some folks to do something with exterior lighting rather than just natural light. Once you get hooked, though, be careful, because it's addictive and it starts to cost money when you start doing off-camera flash.
You try anything different on a camera, it's costs you money. It's good money too, you know.
Yeah.
Scary.
You know, Daniel Venter, who was on Vahagen's show, and I thought Vahagen may be in here in a little while. But Daniel Venter shoots natural light, and a lot of people want to argue with him over whether it's natural or not because he does such a good job. And he's worth checking out too. If you're doing natural light, it all has to do with finding the right location and the right time of day. So definitely worth checking out Daniel Venter. Here you go. So RS, wildlife refuge close to me, so I shoot bison, elk, and birds. Cool. Great. So I would expect maybe that's what we're going to see in the photo review if you choose to participate. Cool. Yeah, that's the nice thing about this is we'll probably be all over the place with lots of different shots. Here's the other thing that comes out of these reviews. One, it makes you feel good. You know, you took the time, you posted a photo and let everybody see it because you're proud of it. But the other is it inspires others, seeing a wildlife shot or a lighting shot, a portrait, a natural light portrait, or whatever, and it inspires people to get out and, I'm going to try that. I want to give this a shot. I know that we all don't have access to certain venues or whatever, but it's still inspiring to see all the different shots that are presented. Here we go. Oh, it's just Roy talking about his 2 to 400 AFS lens, f4, but it's big and heavy. Yeah. And Nikon was, I guess, talked to somebody about that. Where did I hear that, or where did I see that comment? They were talking about the fact that they could have made this new Prime an f4, but more money because it's bigger, heavier, and so on and so forth. And they found the compromise at 4.5 aperture. May not sound like much to us, and it probably isn't as much of a big deal when you're talking about using the lens. But that was the reasoning behind Nikon not going with a standard f4 and going to the 4.5. So interesting there.
Yeah, and it kept the costs down. I think
Yep.
there's more than enough $10,000 plus Nikon lenses out there right now. It's time to get back to reality for the rest of us.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And as far as this goes, Greg, yeah, I don't know what the holdup is on the 800 millimeter, but of course they expected that to be a uh, low selling lens, low number sales with that 800, but they made it so good and the reviews are so good. Now they're behind. So I don't know. I'm not buying into this fact. And that rumor's still going around that Nikon said that they've talked to uh, all the different dealers and said that they're going to halt production right now to clear the queue on pre-orders. That doesn't make sense, and it doesn't pass the sniff test. Thank you, Fro, because Becky talked about that. If anybody would know, it would be Grays of Westminster, and they hadn't heard anything from Nikon about. No, we're not gonna take any more pre-orders. So I don't know what's going on with it, buddy, but I do hope you get it as soon as you can, man. Uh, and talking about the Seth possible blooper on the F4. Yeah, I do think it did start a lot of gossip. You're absolutely right. Um, but I think it was just in the heat of the moment as he's talking about these, he just said F4. I don't think he was talking about the 600. He was talking about the 2 to 600. So yeah, I don't think that's the case. However, we'll wait and see. I mean, you just heard the story about the 400 4.5. So who knows what Nikon's going to do with that 2 to 600, but it would be a huge lens. I think we all agree if it was f4 across the board for a zoom, man, I don't know if we could hold it.
Plus the price, plus the price would be ridiculous too. So then it would be another ridiculously priced lens that works great.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's a real good point. This should be brought up all the time with different lenses and things like that. If it's good enough, if it works for you, then and it fits your budget, then that's it. That's a better choice for you. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Is it as fast as, or is it fast enough for you? I
Yeah.
agree.
And it all depends on what your subject matter is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You get back into, I know everybody hates it, get back into the birding crap again, but you know, you shoot birds, you want it to grab focus like instantaneously. If you're shooting anything else but, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Here, David's responding to the question about the focus speed. So here you go. And here's a guy that's shooting both lenses and has compared them and everything else. And I'm wondering if, how many people, I think sometimes everybody's looking for that one thing that maybe nobody said. And they want to say, well, this is sharper, but it's, when you pixel peep, maybe it is, but from a normal viewpoint, looking at a photo, is it so sharp that it makes a difference that much sharper? And how much is sharp? When is sharp enough? Okay. So yeah, But I do appreciate you putting that video out, David. And again, you guys need to go over and check it out on his YouTube channel.
Jeff
David
and Leslie
Brandsma.
say, I remember shooting birds with manual focus film cameras. And yes, I remember those days too. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember doing that.
Yep. David, so where do you work, man? You're helping a customer. That's interesting. And you don't have to so state if you don't want to. That's fine. But yeah, helping him set up his Z9, amazed with the focus tracking speed of it, and left his D5 and many lenses behind to move to Z. And that's where I'm at right now. I sold my D5 early because I didn't want to take a big hit on it. Because I'm committed to, the mirrorless world now. I can't afford to keep a museum in the house. I couldn't anyway, even if I wanted to and could afford it. Mama wouldn't allow it. Why all this clutter? You're not using them. Get rid of them. Let's see. I did not know this. This is interesting. If you don't need infinity, then you can add an extension ring to a telelens to get closer focus. I did not know you could do that. That's interesting. Quit it, Roy. Now I got to go check it out. Now I got to get some extension rings so I can try that. Quit it. I got enough stuff on the list that I need. Charles talking about he'd like to see some of Darren's sports photos. Yeah, Darren, drop us a link, man. Let us know where we can go see your photos. Love to do that. Let's see. Here we go. Well, then, Chuck, you have to do one with no flash allowed. All right, we'll tackle that too. Or maybe on the same day we'll have two categories. That doesn't make sense, does it? Then that's not going to force anybody to do anything. I was just thinking that maybe on that, or here you go. Better yet, maybe we'll do one where show me the catch lights in the eyes, be it beast or person. And because that's going to indicate how you use the light. I think that would work too. And it's going to force people to look at things and look at it differently. Dog talking about photograph my kids' soccer games and provide photos to parents. That's great. I grew up playing baseball and there's no evidence of it. I know the feeling. I know that feeling. Good practice and lots of fun to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's great that you provide it to the parents. So here we go. Hey, Charles, he was in Vegas. He's home today, but I talked to him yesterday and their flight got delayed leaving Las Vegas. And I assume he got out of there. Maybe he didn't, but he should be home today. And he did say he might drop in. So, and I understand if he does or doesn't. I mean, coming back off a trip out there, but he took the family out for family time. That's why you guys haven't heard a lot from him. And he's just enjoying the moment. With all the videos that he's doing and trying to do the live stream and everything, I know it's pretty overwhelming. So he just took a moment to go hide and enjoy the family and just relax. So he's had a good time out there. I will tell you that. Here you go. Here's a good question from Gustavo. Any difference with the TC 1.4? That's a good question. So I'm sure David will chime in here. It's nice having somebody in here, having you guys in here. We got Roy that can go back in cameras to, petroglyphs and so many others in here that have these lenses, and Mozman, of course. Mozman is collecting a lot of these lenses, and thanks to you guys, we get a lot of answers in the chat from you all, and I think that's fantastic. Yeah, Mozman just talking about Vahagan. He was, yeah, back in LA. I think so. Mozman can answer that probably better than I can, but I believe he's home now, unless again, they just got held over for a night out there. I know that they had a delay on their flight departing. So We'll know. He'll chime in there if he can. You can bet on that. He'll jump in there if he gets the opportunity. Uh, there you go. No noticeable difference. 4.5 with a 1.4 on it. And that's fantastic. You know, when people say that there's a difference, often I'm looking at the photos, the side by sides, and I'm thinking, I don't know where you're seeing such a great difference. If it's so little that you've got to dig to find a difference, then why not just say, yeah, there's no noticeable difference and move on. But
Here's what they got to use, Chuck, to say there's a
yeah,
difference. They're doing one
often,
of these.
yeah,
Oh,
often,
gee, look. Oh, my God. It's blurry.
yeah, often that's the case. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Yelmaz, man, as far as I know, I got a text from him yesterday evening, and he just sent me a text saying our flight's been delayed. They were supposed to be flying home, so I didn't get anything after that. I assume that he made it home. So either way, I'm sure he'll be back today if he isn't already. Uh, anyone tested the AF speed of the 800?
I don't know too many people that have an 800. I know one guy that has one, but I haven't seen him in about 2 weeks. So if I see him, I'll ask him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's in that same age group as us, Chuck, and his back is horrible. So I haven't
Oh,
seen him
okay.
lately. So he's at PT 3 times a week for his back. So
Oh, that's not good. Focus speed on the 800 is very quick. Talk David responding to, yeah, I'm going to try your name, sir, and you can slap me here and tell me no, not even close or whatever. But hi, I hope I got that right. Uh, uh,
yeah, that's as Daw's saying. I know Steve Perry loves the 800. He loves it.
and David saying it's great for video. All the new Z lenses seem to be fantastic for video. Now, there's probably a limited opportunity to use a 800 millimeter for video, other than in wildlife. That I understand. That I understand. But from a creator standpoint, there is an opportunity sometimes to use these long lenses, and I'm thinking of a movie, North by Northwest, when oh shoot, what's his name, is on the road or airstrip and the airplane's coming in behind him. And I know they use an extremely long lens to make that aircraft look like it was just behind him. And that's what you get with those long telephotos, is all that compression. Yes, Mr. Roy is the man that does the product photography and many other things, I'm sure. All right. I'm getting way behind here.
I'm kind of where Roy is saying 800's fantastic value. Pity he finds it a bit too long, and I'm kind of in that group too. I think it's too long for what I typically shoot. I think the 600 is the ideal range, but unfortunately, Nikon's kind of screwing with your mind, because most of us can't afford the 600. So you look at the 800 and you go, wow, that's such a great deal. I'm getting more reach, and it's quality, and everybody loves it, and the price isn't horrific. But for most uses, that 800 is still going to be a little longer than what most people need.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you have a 600 lens and you put a 1.4 on it, or you go to crop mode and you get 800 plus, because you're not going to be using 800 a lot. At least I don't. Shooting birds and stuff, I wouldn't see myself using 800 a lot. It would be a nice to have thing, but I wouldn't want to be stuck where I'm always shooting at 800.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a luxury lens as
Yeah,
how I see it for me. But if you're constantly shooting out to using 600 millimeter and needing more, then maybe that 800 is the perfect lens for you. But it's in for me, it would be a luxury lens. And honestly, I'd love to have it, but it probably wouldn't get a lot of use. It's just because it's not what I shoot. I'd have to pick up birding then.
yeah. I mean, it would be good for small birds, but then again, the thing is that you got to remember is you have to be any little vibration or whatever. Yeah, you have VR and you have, IBIS, and you have all this stuff in the camera and whatnot, but everything, as the more you magnify the image, the more it's going to be jumpy, especially if you're doing video. And you just have to be aware of that. I mean, if you're shooting on a tripod or something, then yeah, the 800 is going to do fantastic on anything you're shooting with no movement. But you just got to be careful of that.
Roy brings up the uh, Daniel Venter here shooting with a 200 f2, and absolutely, yeah, he's just destroying the background. And when I see destroying, he's not melting it all away, because where he puts his subject, and often that was his daughter in so many of those photos, and she's just beautiful. Um, it didn't completely blow out the background because of where he had to place her in the scene, in the composition. So she may have been a bit closer to the background, but it renders that background, just like you say, like butter. It's just fantastic. But there's so much more, obviously, that goes into him shooting. The lens is just one part. He's got an eye for choosing these locations, color coordination, as you guys know if you've seen his work, and the fact that he can get the lighting. He can make that lighting really speak. Now, he's editing his photos, and he didn't deny that. But I mean, he's got to have it so close in camera, because there's only so much highlight you can bring back, or so much shadow that you can bring back. So he's definitely doing great work in shooting natural light with his photos. They don't look like they're natural light. That's the scary part. You just think you got to be using off camera flash or something. So if you haven't seen him, you need to go check out Daniel Venter. He's just fantastic.
Well, what
Um,
what he does that most people aren't going to take the time to do is he knows which spots. He has a lot of backgrounds, a lot of backlit images, but with trees and stuff in the background to filter the light so it's not too strong. And then when he does, like you say, melts the background, he doesn't melt it so much that you can still tell sometimes that there are trees, but it's all blended really well, and
yeah,
the lighting is perfect because he knows I got to shoot at that spot between 7 and 9 in the morning or whatever, or forget it. I'm not going to shoot that day, or I'm going to have to go somewhere else. And he seems to have done like an impeccable job of identifying locations where he knows where he could go certain parts of the day and have the light just the way he wants it. And most people aren't going to spend that kind of time doing that. And
yeah,
he mastered it, and it shows. I mean, it's phenomenal,
yeah. I
phenomenal
mean,
work.
this is what happens when you pick one genre or one thing and you stick with it. I mean, over time, you just continue to find more tweaks and master that genre, and that's what he's done. I don't think he's birding or shooting moose or product photography or whatever. Nothing wrong with any of those. My point is that he stuck to one thing and mastered it, and I
Yeah.
would say he's mastered it. How much is 10% sharper worth? That's a question that only an individual, and I know you're saying it tongue in cheek, RS, but everybody has to ask themselves that. Do you want bragging rights, or do you want to be able to buy a lens that you can take out and shoot? That's to me, that's the difference. And most of the time we can't tell that much difference in looking at a photo. I don't look at how sharp they are. I mentioned it the other day, taking the photos with the Z9 in the studio, only because I know everybody wants to see, is the eye actually that sharp, or whatever, is the camera doing what it's supposed to do. But to me, I'll take them into Photoshop, And often I will soften an image, some of these images, because they just look better. You know, when you take some of the sharpness out of it. I know it sounds crazy, but try it sometime and see if you don't agree that you like that photo better. But everybody's afraid to show those photos. Well, that's not, you know, cutting edge sharpness there. If that's all you're looking for, then people are looking for, then you're never going to beat them. They're not looking at a photo to see if it's aesthetically appealing. Uh, let's see. Mossman talking about, I guess this is about the 800 or something. Just shoot 120 frames per second, wait for the bird to come into focus. Problem solved. That is one technique, Moz. That is one technique.
Hey, in the old days when you manually focused, it was you. That's all you did was wait. You picked a focus zone. You focused on an area, and you waited for it to go into that area, and you counted on having enough depth of field where you had a reasonable distance where that subject was going to be sharp, and you had to play that game. And anybody who had to shoot fully manual cameras back in the day remember all about how important you spent a lot more time worrying about depth of field when you were shooting manual.
Yeah. Well, Jeff talked about that in a few comments back. I just didn't pull it up here. He talked about, the success of shooting film in the days of manual focus and everything else. And yes, you could still get shots. Absolutely.
Yep.
Ray, if it's too sharp, it doesn't look right. I often agree with that. But then again, I'm kind of an old cinema buff. I like old movies and things like that. I watch a lot of black and white movies, the older movies that I love, because that's when stories were great and acting was great. Not that I don't enjoy the CGI of today in a lot of the movies, but my point here is I'm always looking at the cinematic, taking a cinematic approach to looking at a lot of films. And you're right, when it's just super sharp, it's like watching a commercial or something like that. I don't know how to explain it any different. When you watch a movie, the frame rate is slower. I think maybe the lenses weren't they're using aren't as sharp or whatever, and it just gives it a quality that I actually like. It's very appealing to my eye. So you're right. Some photos that are just super sharp aren't appealing to me.
Uh, David asks a question: are you Z9 shooters getting any noise when shooting at 12,800? The answer is yes, but the noise is fine and you can clean it up. Now, today, for the first time, I was shooting before the sun came up, and I was trying to shoot a fiddler crab, and I'm shooting at a stupid shot. I mean, I'm shooting in the dark. I was shooting at ISO 25,000, whatever that limit is before you go into the high range, 25.5 or whatever. I've never shot that high in my life, and I'm trying to shoot a crab just as the waves are ready to land on top of it. Now, I haven't had a chance to put them on my computer or do any noise reduction or anything else, but if I get any of those that look halfway decent, I will share them and let you guys see how it comes out. But I don't mind pushing the camera or pushing myself. I'm shooting at a 60th of a second, and I'm shooting at 25,000 ISO, and I'm trying to get a wave ready to land on a crab that's like 3 inches wide. It's like, hey, if it doesn't come out, who cares? At least I tried.
Yeah.
I'll push the envelope. I'll see if I get one shot that came out decent. I'll be very happy. But you gotta be willing to do different things and strange things and push the camera and see what happens. That's part of the fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it should be for all of us, no matter what you're shooting.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to see those photos but you, unless you want to show people. But you often push yourself out of a comfort zone by taking on those little tasks and trying it. Yeah. And that's how you grow. That's how you get better. But you know what? And I have to slap myself because I'm one of those people. You got to shoot more often. For a lot of us, that's what we need to do. That's what I need to do. Because with shooting comes all that, not just experience, but the trials of trying something different. I don't shoot enough. I'll tell you that right now. I'll be honest. And hey, yeah, Jeff, and my hat's off to everybody that shoots wildlife and birds and everything else, because I've tried it. I can shoot birds when they're sitting still, but I still have no luck at all with birds in flight. And I bought the Z9 because it was going to be magic, and I didn't even have to look. All I had to do is point the camera, and it would catch them. No, but I did expect it to help me out, and it did. But yeah, I'm not a bird and flight guy, and I love what you and your wife are doing with your nature photography. I like the flowers and all the different plants and stuff. Again, you guys think I'm kidding or I'm just placating when I say things like this.
No.
I do like it because I learn something when I'm watching it. You know what the different plants are. Not to mention the photography is great. So
Yeah,
you know,
and they know what all the plants are. I'll just say, and here's a picture of such and such a bird near a plant or near a
yeah.
flower. I mean, I have a hard enough time keeping track of all the names of all the birds and the different types of birds, and then trying to figure out all the flowers too. And they manage to keep track of all the flowers as well. So I tip my hat off to them every time I watch their video. I think I
Yeah.
make a comment on, there you go again, naming every single flower, and every single flower.
I think it's fantastic. And,
Yeah.
people, I hope people don't stroll by his channel or your channel, Jeff, and think, it's just about flowers. I think if you give it a moment, if people that find you would give you a moment in your video, they'd be hooked. It's like one of those things of scrolling through the TV channel and you hit a movie. It's, the movie's already halfway through, but there's something about it that holds you for a minute. And then all of a sudden you're engrossed in it. Now I want to see what happened in the beginning of the movie. So yeah, I don't know why anybody wouldn't like watching what you guys are putting together. I think it's fantastic. Just like with Jeffrey there and everybody else that's doing it. I'm it's my therapy at times. I need that. I need that slow down for a minute and just enjoy. It's like a breath of fresh air. It sounds corny, but it is to me. It's why I like your channel, Jeffrey.
Well, it's fun to do. I mean, it's in this, and like I said, I really like Jeff and Leslie's work, and really everybody. I mean, I try to subscribe to those that do similar work, and I will whack myself in the face for you if you want. That I don't always get a chance to watch every single video everybody does, but I do. I go in and from time to time and I try to watch some of everybody's videos because it's I want to support people that are smaller channels and do similar work, because a lot of them live in different places than me, where the wildlife is different, the flowers are different, whatever. So I'm learning as I'm watching their shows. So some people are lucky; they live near all the birds of prey, seem to be in their backyard, and they just have pictures of everything. And it's like, that's refreshing, because
But
I'm limited to only a few different kinds. So it's
but you
always
bring up
fun.
you bring up a good point, Jeffrey, where it may be boring to you. There are other people that don't have access to those birds and everything.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to them. Just like watching all the different people, that do put videos up on YouTube. It's fun to learn about all these different birds around the world or wherever. Speaking of which, Saturday night we're going to have a guest, and he's a bird guy. He's a conservationist. He's from Malaysia, and we're going to bring him in and talk to him. I already talked to him about the channel. I said, look, you got one thing you got to understand is this is a channel for the chat and the viewers, the audience, and you've got to be prepared to respond. And, that's exactly what they expect. And that's what I want to give them. He said, oh, I'm all about that. He
Did you
said, I'm all
tell him?
about that. He wants
Did
to
you tell him
respond.
yours is the only show that you need to wear a seatbelt while you're sitting in your chair?
He says he's seen the channel and he likes it, and he contacted me and said he'd love to be on, and I said absolutely. So we had a couple of caveats there. Again, just be prepared, because you're part of the audience. We are part of the audience, and the audience, it kind of, runs things here because everybody likes to chat about whatever and ask questions. And he's all about that. He said, absolutely. So we'll see Saturday night. I'll get the primer out for that here real soon. He's already sent me some information about himself and everything. I'll get that out soon. I'm not going to mention his name just yet. I'll wait till I put that up so everybody can go check him out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good time. And he may be another one that just wants to be part of our community as well. So we got so many good people in here. All right, enough about that. Mike brings this point up. One thing about shooting natural lighting is going to be flat, meaning overall pretty even. Add a reflector, and it will have a bit more shape. Okay, on an overcast day, you're absolutely right. Or in the shade, you're absolutely right. Without looking for the light source and finding a way to pose the subject, you're going to have flat lighting or just a blah face or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I could set my giant umbrella up here in the studio and shoot, because I've done that with Amanda and her therapist that she has to shoot their thumbnails for her site. It's very flattering. Women do like it. I will not, argue with that, because it will hide a lot of issues or things like that, wrinkles and things like that. And it is pretty, but that's not my thing. My thing is craziness. I like depth. I like showing contours and shaping the face and things like that. So yeah, it's, again, back to lighting is one of those things that you probably will continue to learn about throughout your life. If you start tomorrow, you'll never know it all, and you'll continually find things that amaze you with lighting. And that's what you can do with external or off camera flash that you can't necessarily do often with natural light. So, hey, thanks for that comment, Mike. You're absolutely right. Um, oh, here you go. All right. Mio. Okay, Mio. Thank you very much for dropping that in there. Absolutely. I just want to say people's names right, or I don't often know how to pronounce some of the names. I'm from Kentucky. If it isn't Campbell or things like that, pretty simple. It's difficult for me at times, but thank you very much, Mio. I'm glad to see you here. I know I've seen you in here before. You know,
I got to make cue cards now, I
yeah.
think.
All right, no problem, buddy. Go do it.
She's crying.
But yeah, so let me throw my little pitch in here because Mama gets on me. You didn't say it enough. Hey, if you're new here to the channel, you just happen to catch the channel. Maybe it was a recommendation by YouTube, or you used a keyword, or anyway you found us and you're not used to us. We're a channel that just gets in here and chats, and I'm not a big reviewer. I'm not doing any of that. However, I want to provide a platform for our community, and we have a great community going, as you may already notice. Yes, I will rant from time to time because I'm not a Nikon fanboy, but I am Nikon loyal. Figure that out. I am not a Nikon. I will call them out. I'm not going to do that with Canon or Sony or anybody else because I don't shoot Canon or Sony, and I don't plan to leave Nikon. But I will let them know, rant meter. Yeah, I will let Nikon know what I'm thinking, and I do absolutely believe that Nikon does test the waters and watch some of these streams and other videos on YouTube just to see how people are reacting to products or reacting to wait times and things like that. But if you shoot Canon, if you shoot Fuji, if you shoot Olympus or whatever it's called today, or Sony or anything else, I don't care. You're welcome here, and you're welcome to talk about what you shoot. So, all right, rant off. If you're new, though, I would ask you to at least drop a like, if you would. It just motivates me to keep doing this, guys. And subscriptions are always welcome. We're doing fantastic. We're building our community, and we're going to continue to do it. All right. That said, let me move on. And thanks for letting me know, Mio. Appreciate that. Let me continue to skip down here real quick. Albert Jimenez. Albert, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. Nikon, kindly give us some sub 200 millimeters fast optics before the turn of the decade. There's a whole lot of people that feel the same way, Albert. Absolutely. We'd like to see them round out that lens roadmap with some more of the shorter tele lenses and even some more wide, maybe. I don't know, but definitely not. We've got enough. Other than, and before everybody beats me up, the 2 to 600 needs to come out soon too. We need to get that off the plate, get it done, get it over with, because so many people are waiting for that. But I think the 85 1.2 is a definite another anticipated lens. We need to see that sooner rather than later. All right. Uh, Oh, okay, the 800 video for wildlife. Okay, and again, I've said this before, and oh, there you go. Yes, Cary Grant. You're absolutely right, Ray Powell. Cary
Yeah.
Grant. And I don't know why I couldn't think of Cary Grant, but yeah, that scene in that movie, that's a long, long telephoto lens, using film, of course, when it was shot, just to give that compressed look, so it looks like that plane's about to run over him. So yeah, that does have a place in cinematography as well, long telephoto lenses. I just don't know that it's used as often. Um, and I'm all over the place as usual. So
Well,
I can carry five stories on at once. Go ahead, Jeff.
I says we got T-Mid in the house.
T-Mid. I haven't got
Oh,
down to you yet, brother. Uh, let's see. And answering the question Charles had asked about Roy, mostly product until recently. Roy's beginning to enjoy photography. He finally got away from the hustle and bustle of shooting for a living. Maybe not completely dropping it, but at least he's got more time to enjoy photography. And I do appreciate you being in here all the time, Roy. You have answers to questions that I can't even possibly answer. Um, well, thanks, Charles, for helping me out with that. You seem to be very knowledgeable about a lot of lens focal lengths, so I'm guessing you've done a lot of other geners too. Geners, um, yeah, Charles, he's the go-to guy. Uh, Going down the list, Jeffrey, you see anything that jumps out? Pick it up, address it.
well, obviously everybody wants the 85 1.2. I think they may get a lump in their throat when they see the price tag, but I think they'll still get it.
Mozman always got the right comment. Don't buy the big long super telephotos. Just go to a pet shop with your portrait lens. Uh,
I'll share a funny bird story. Well, I guess you may not find it funny in the beginning, but it'll be funny by the end. I had bought a bird for my kid when he was young. Just one of those cockatoos. Not the big birds, the small ones that are like $20 at the pet store. And so he had a friend over, and he had a ceiling fan in his bedroom. So he decides to let the bird out, and the ceiling fan it had to be at least a 1/4 inch thick glass dome underneath the fan, with the lights on the other side. And this bird flew into the ceiling fan. It hit the bird so hard that the beak put a hole in this 1/4 inch thick piece of glass. And so then, of course, he's crying because the bird isn't moving too well, couldn't fly anymore. And I'm like telling the wife, let's just put the bird down and get another $20 bird. And of course, your child is yelling and screaming, no, it's so and so, it's my bird. I want my bird. And so then I had to go find a bird expert. Not every vet can work on a bird, so you got to find a specialist. So then they set the wing. It had like dislocated a bone in the wing, and it was able to reset it and everything. And then so all was well for a while. And then to end the story on a sad note, or funny, depending if you have a warped sense of humor like me, we found the bird dead in the cage Thanksgiving morning, and of course I had to make a comment. Well, we're not going to get much meat off of that bird.
Uh, he, I can understand he didn't appreciate that.
No, no. Wow, he knows his father's sense of humor is a little bit off the mark.
Yeah. Oh man. He's skate on by, guys. Sorry, some of these. I'm just gonna skate by, get on down here. I'm not even close to the bottom because I heard T Mid came in and I haven't even got to that yet. I got to stop here. The 800 is long, 400 2.8, built in 1.4. My preferred lens, not a 600 f4, but 560 f4. It's close. I agree. I have all these lenses. Since my wife shoots as well, I buy them for her.
Oh, we don't believe that at all, man. That's
There's one advantage to having a wife that's into photography. I didn't get it for me. I got it for you,
sure
but can I use it?
I'm sure she appreciates you saying that. Yeah, as long as Chuck said, as long as you let her actually use the lens.
That's fantastic. That's great, man. Congrats. Oh. In a portrait, the eye should always be sharp. I agree with that, Roy. There may be some reason where the entire photo's soft, but I mean, it's not very often. But the eyes need to be piercing in the photo, no doubt about it. But I'm a fan of fall off too. The eyes are in great, perfect focus. But then there's a sharp fall off. I like that look from time to time too. Again, if you post a photo like that, everybody's going to talk about, well, the depth of field is so thin, blah, blah, our ears are out. Again, we don't critique for art anymore. We critique for what? Uh, all the rules or whatever. I don't know. But I agree. 99% of the time, if the eyes aren't sharp, it's going to take away from the photo. No doubt about it. Unless it's so far away that you really it won't make a difference. Then the pixel peepers will find it though and tell you the eyes are out of focus. How do you know that?
Yeah.
You
They're
zoomed
looking
into
at they're looking at
400%.
the cornea or whatever through a microscope.
Yeah.
People are just unrealistic. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I guess you got to have something to complain about. You want to complain about everything, look through life through a microscope, and you'll always have something to complain about.
Yep. Yeah, Mike, he's a fantastic he's fantastic in Photoshop, but he has to have a start point. Beyond that, I I can try to do the same thing he does in Photoshop, but if I don't start with the right start point with the photo, I can't make it look like his photo. Believe me, I tried after we did that video. I tried and I can't even get the composition right. He's got an eye for all that, and that's what makes the difference. But I will agree, he definitely brings out even more in Photoshop in those images, no doubt about it.
They made the Z30, so we had something to complain about, did he say? All right.
Oh yeah, I'm so far behind. Hey, I want to address this real quick. Maybe you guys have been talking to him in the chat. I'm speeding by so many comments as usual. I'm way behind. So, Mio, I suppose, and now I supposed, but now certain that you're a Canon shooter, and you're welcome here, of course. But talking about shooting birds in flight, the R5 600 f4 IS2 with manual focus because the AF is too slow, like the old days. Okay, all right. And I don't have any experience with that lens or the camera. But yeah, I would just say, maybe it's time. I don't know that you have the ability to or the financial ability to, but maybe it's time to maybe go out and rent either the R3 or the Z9 or well, if you can find one to rent, I don't even know if you can, or the A1. Honestly, check them out and see if you see a difference. Maybe it's time for a body update, especially for you if you're shooting birds in flight, because it seems to be, the flagship bodies are doing very well in that arena. And you guys want to give any other advice, by all means do. But, I know that you may want to stick with Canon because you have Canon glass. So I don't know if it's the lens or if anybody in here has any experience with the 600 mil f4 IS2, but pass it on to Mio. All right, let me get moving, man. T-Mid's probably in here and gone by the time I get down to him. I like it when T-Mid joins us too, though. It's always fun. He's got a different perspective. Man, I am so far behind. Gee, my. I got to stop here. See, sidetracked all the time. What's happened to Bayou Josh? I don't know, RS. And you know what? I told Vahagan the other day I was going to send him an email and just find out what's going on. I may even be able to text him. I can't remember. I'll have to go look. But I don't know. Maybe he's just taking a break. I hope that that's the case, honestly. I hope that there hadn't been anything bad happen, but he may be taking a break because he talked often about how he was getting not burnt out, but just wore out from trying to continue the posts. And, he works a 40-hour work week and, he's not giving his job up for YouTube. So maybe there's just, it was time for him to take a break. I don't know. But yeah, it has been a while now. So I need to send an email and just ask, if he's okay or whatever. Yeah, talking about watching other channels, absolutely. There's always a lot to learn from other channels, just like yours, Jeff and Jeffrey. There's a lot to learn for me, and it's not just that I enjoy the talk and the naming of the birds or the plants or the whatever. It's also what you're doing with the camera. Continuing, man. So true. And that's my luxury, is being able to shoot what I want, when I want, how I want, and not being held to anything in particular for a client. Of course, it doesn't put any food on the table, but hey, Chantel, how you doing? Glad to see you in here.
Hello.
You'll have to participate in our photo review we're going to do on August 6th. If you just joined, we're going to do a photo review on August 6th, and everybody gets to submit a photo. And we're just going to make that show. That's a Saturday night, August 6th. And we're going to make the whole show about just highlighting everybody's photos. Let everybody talk about what they did, how they did it, and everything else. Maybe you want to participate also. Emails at the bottom there. If you want to participate, you are more than welcome to do that. Just make sure that your photo is 2048 on the long side, because that way they'll all be the same. And I can load it up in ACR, and we'll just go through all the photos and let everybody talk. I have the phone line open. You can call in and talk about your photo. So anyway, just throwing it out there, and it's a good reminder for me to put this out now for people that weren't in here earlier. So thank you. And good to see you, T.
Oh, I love I Am Hassan's comment. Good to have some humor on this channel. Where he says, sad news about Bayou Josh. He's switching to Pentax, just hasn't got around to announcing it yet. He couldn't handle the awesome Sony autofocus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Roy, I already missed my studio. I'm going to be in the same boat, Roy. Getting out of here. I don't have a great studio, but at least I have a room for a studio, and I'm going to miss it. Well, the house that I buy, or we buy, I'm definitely looking for that space so that I can move in and occupy another studio.
So, Chuck, do houses in Tennessee, are they like what they are here in South Carolina where they don't have any basements?
Yeah, for the most part. No, not it's about 50-50, but yeah,
Okay.
not as many basements down south as you see up here, no doubt about it. Just
Yeah,
depends on where you're at in Tennessee. I
yeah.
mean, obviously for you in South Carolina, the water table is an issue with basements.
No, I trip. I have a spring come up if I land on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I like this. Natural lighting is better with a flash. Absolutely, Roy. You're absolutely right. You can add some character, depth, and other things with a flash. Absolutely. Uh, let's see. Oh, I missed why Charles is congratulating T. Did I miss the comment? Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Let me put that up here real quick. 2 media passes with Live Nation for today. I'm stoked, man. I need to watch more of your lives here. Yeah, absolutely. Just join us when you can, T. You're welcome to the conversation. There's so much information, not from me, but from everybody that's in the chat and the guests that I have. So, my dad told me a long time ago, son, you don't have to be smart. You just got to surround yourself with smart people. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So, you're welcome anytime to come in here. And congratulations on getting the media passes. It's not an easy feat today. I know. Uh, all right, going all the way to the bottom. Sorry. I saw T Mid go by. If you're still in here, T Mid, sorry I didn't get to it sooner. Darren says he's going to send some photos. Uh, Muzzman, yeah. Back to switch to the Z30 and he's using a Mega DAP for his class. That's fantastic, Ozman. Oh, let's see. Um, 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 All right, all right. Yeah, I like the end of this comment, Mio. If you have a camera with a stack sensor, beep beep money truck. Yep, absolutely, man. It's not photography is not a cheap hobby. It can be, and you can be happy if you're happy with the, shooting with what you have. But all too often, we want more. Uh, Anthony Tog, where's Anthony? Where's Anthony? Where's Anthony? How did I miss you, Anthony? Here you go. Hey, buddy, glad to see you in here. I love what you're doing, and I like the explanation you gave me on my comment. I understand. It's so hard to keep a channel, whether it's doing videos or even live stream, to keep it exciting or entertaining. It really is. So, hey, I applaud you for what you're doing. That last video I really enjoyed, by the way. I love seeing people produce stuff like that, content that isn't a review or whatever. And we talked about that in commenting back and forth. So if you guys haven't been over to Anthony Toglight's channel, you may want to check it out. He does a fantastic job of teaching in a lot of his videos. You get to see the before, the after, the how to, the behind the scenes, the settings, and everything else. And if you want to learn lighting, I'll tell you, you got to go over and check out some of his videos. It's a good start point for a lot of people to learn because he doesn't jump to anything exotic right off the bat. He talks about here are the basics and here's what we're doing and here's how I'm doing it. He has examples and everything else. But recently, real recently, he just did a video and asked people to try to come up with what he was trying to convey in his video, which I think is very, very cool to try to watch the video and then go back and say, well, here's what I saw in the video or whatever. But check him out, Anthony Toglife. Definitely worth checking out. And I'm glad to see you in here, brother. All right. Moving on. Sorry, gotta keep moving. Well, wait a minute. Space people caught my attention here. Remember the case in Pulp Fiction by Josh Soul was in that case. Oh man. I'll drop it up here real quick. Darren, you want to send photos? By all means do. a photo if you would, because I don't want to have to choose from what you send me. I want you to choose and send me a photo for the photo review. Uh, moving on. Let's see. And Hassan, I didn't see you in here earlier either. Good to see you, sir. A lot of comments on dual motor focus motors and the newer lenses and things. Good. And this is what you get when you come here. Ask a question. Somebody in here has experienced it, is experienced in it, or has an idea where to go find the experience to get answers to your questions. I just push everybody to Jeffrey Neville or to Roy Bigsby or to, well, so many of you out there.
I like Da's response. A long writer isn't it Mozman's job to cause trouble in here? He does it so well. He must be getting paid for it. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag that Mozman does get a stipend from Chuck, to cause trouble. But you heard it here first.
Mozman is the heartbeat in here, man. He's what keeps the blood flowing, and I love it.
I don't think we're going to try to break your record anytime soon, though. Your new record, Chuck. That was That was long, man. I was exhausted.
I was too. The Moz woke up, or Long Rider woke up to the voices here. Hey, Anthony, no problem, man. Hey, I'm just giving credit where credit's due. I have so many people that I'm subscribed to now, and I'm not going back and unsubscribing from anybody. There's some that I probably haven't seen in a year or whatever. But Anthony, I try to get around and watch your videos. I don't always make it because something, the silver object catches my eye and I'm off doing something else, or mama catches my ear literally by pulling it and saying, let's go, let's get with it. But I do try to watch your videos because I do enjoy them. And that's sincere. Thank you for what you're doing on your channel.
Well, Chuck, as we get older, we get like dogs where we just kind of get distracted and we go squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah. 21 likes. Yeah, that's the way it goes. I just can't, I just can't get on here and beg for likes and subs. I'll bring it up from time to time, and I'm going to catch heat when mama sees this. Why don't you? You should ask. Everybody else does. I know, but I'm not everybody else. But I do appreciate it when I get likes and things like that. And I think everybody does, because you know that whatever you're doing is appreciated. So it definitely motivates me. All right. Greg Wilson. I don't know what to use. Yes, Greg. Somebody asked me, if you're going to a shoot, what are you going to carry? And my answer was everything, because so it goes right along with what you're saying. It does. Sometimes it's easier if you have less gear, and somebody that has less gear is saying right now, no, it isn't, because I want more gear, more lenses or whatever. But you're right. It can get in the way sometimes of creativity, because you just feel like you have to use a certain lens or camera body or whatever. Mozman's middle name is Trouble. Yeah, but in a good way. It's good trouble. Oh man,
Mozman's like one of those double stuffed Oreo cookies, because the normal filling isn't quite enough, so you got to get the double stuff. That's Mozman. He's double stuff.
I agree. It wouldn't be the same without him in here with his comments. Great wit. You're right.
And Greg, you got great content on your channel too, since we watch your stuff as well and enjoy it very much. So
absolutely. And Gustavo.
Yep.
You guys are
Gustavo, when he
rocking.
sends me a picture and an email, I'm like, Well, if Gustavo, if what you send me is like what you consider your everyday shots, then I'm embarrassed because they're phenomenal. I mean, every picture you send is just like out of this world.
Uh, there you go. There you go. Mozman's selling gimbals now via his shooting and being on the channel and being seen. Saw it on the Rock and Roll channel, Mr. V. There you go. See how much influence, you know, some of these channels have. And when I say influence, I mean it in a good way, that people get a chance to look at some of the gear that you're using or we're using or whatever. And then, of course, all the questions in here and talking about some of this stuff. You know, and that's the whole point of being a part of a community, is being able to share some of this. Hmm. Yeah, Paul, I figured if he showed up, I know he's probably working, but if he showed up, we'd throw an invite out to him to get him in here. But I'm sure he's busy. That's why I haven't heard from him. Uh, uh,
Charles,
whoa, Long Rider. Wow. Man, that's very appreciated. I think that'd be fantastic. I hadn't even thought of even doing anything like that. But now you put me in a position, because we have to somehow come up with a way to pick a winner. Um, yeah, man, hold that thought. That's very appreciative. I'm sure everybody else would enjoy that as well. You know, who wouldn't like a gift card for B&H Photo? And the first person that complained said, "Well, it's just $50." Man, there are so many things in that $50 range that I want at B&H. No, that's very it's very nice, Long Rider. We're gonna have to chat in an email and figure out how we do this, though. I appreciate it tremendously, and I hope everybody else does too. I think it's fantastic, and this is what a community does, man. You guys are the best. Uh, all right. Let's see,
um,
Albert. I'm glad you bring that up. You're a subscriber to Anthony's channel. All right. If you want to understand lighting, you should immediately subscribe. I agree with that, Albert. And again, you know, there are going to be channels that are going to have some things that you don't care about or you're not interested in, and things that you're really interested in. But I think if you go to Anthony's channel, you're going to find that you're very interested in a lot of what he's doing. Again, just for lighting. If you have no idea and you're afraid of lighting, and it's okay to say, you know, I just don't know how, I'm afraid, I don't know where to start. Anthony's channel is a real good channel to at least see how to use off-camera flash in the basic, and all the different basic lighting setups for Rembrandt lighting, butterfly lighting, all these different things that you hear people talk about and you don't know how it's done. Anthony has fantastic videos over there on how it's done, and it's simpler than you think. I understand now you have to invest in some lights. I get that. But anyway, and just think about it. Rembrandt Lighting is named for the painting masters and Rembrandt using window light to achieve Rembrandt light, hence the name Rembrandt light. So you don't even have to have flash sometimes. You can just find window light that works. So anyway, I'll let Anthony talk about that over there on his channel. But if you go over and watch and leave a comment, you know, you can bet he's going to answer it and give you some advice. All right.
let's see here. Charles Davis had said, for those of you who use a gimbal, have you ever tried a fluid head instead? And the only gimbal I have is, last week I briefly held it up. I got that Crane 2S that I bought, that I've been fooling with and getting used to it. And I'm an old guy. It's hard to teach an old guy new tricks, but it's interesting. But I did go out and buy the extra handle that mounts, so that I have two places to hold it, because I think when you're just holding something that's just a straight vertical piece, as you try to lean down with your camera or whatever, it's a little too much stress on the arms after a while. So I did order the other handle for that. So I'll let you know how that works out. And in terms of fluid heads, I've actually been looking at and this is where I'll flip the question back to the audience. I was looking at the Manfrotto fluid head monopod that has the feet on the bottom that's spread out, and that's like a fluid base so that you could articulate the device on angles easily, and then it has a pan and tilt head at the top. And I was thinking of that for when I'm doing video with the Z9 with the 500 PF, because the 500 is too big of a lens to put on a handheld motorized gimbal setup.
Hey, hey,
So
yeah, Jeffrey, they're talking about the original gimbal, the
yeah,
for
like for a tripod.
yeah, and that's what Mozman was shooting and talking about the difference between that and a fluid head. I've actually used a fluid head to go out and shoot video, not to shoot birds and other wildlife, but to shoot video with the long lenses. And it definitely it helps out tremendously. However, you don't have that quick flexibility with a fluid head that you do with the other gimbal. So there is a use for both. Can you use either one for both situations? Yes. One works better than the other. With Jay Kimmer's talking about it here. Uh, with the knobs, you can add just enough tension, a slight twist to move slightly for video. Yeah, and I've used my Wimbledon gimbal to shoot a video, and while it will work, there is that bit of that little creep or whatever just to get it started, the little pop. It's hard to get the tension just right. I mean, a fluid head is there for a reason. It's so smooth, and once you get the feel for a fluid head, video is fantastic with it, and that's the reason they're made. But the other gimbals, the free flowing gimbal, my Wimberley, I said Wimbledon, my Wimberley gimbal head, yeah, it's fantastic for birds, wildlife, and everything else. So you just got to play with both and figure out which one works best for you, or what are you going to do most of. If you're not doing a lot of video, and again, the Wimberley works for video as well, but moving, I notice I can't move it smoothly like I can with a fluid head. So that's my take on it. And I'm sure others have answers in here as well.
Yeah, my problem with using a Wimberley is I bought the 500 PF to be mobile, and I need to be mobile. I mean, I usually am not shooting something that's, I'm trying to get birds in flight a lot, a combination of shots. So I got to be able to move around and to pick up the tripod and keep walking around with that setup, and something grabs my eye, I just can't set it up quick enough to do that route, which is why I was thinking of the monopod version, because it would be lighter and quicker and a fluid head, and that might be a better solution for me, but I don't know. I've never used it, so I hate to spend the money and then get disappointed, but
Yeah, and that's why everybody's gonna, take their time in buying a gimbal head or whatever, because you
yeah.
are gonna lay out some money, no doubt about it. All right. Where'd I go? I got lost here. All right. Okay. Did you Long Rider sent you an email? Did you get that? Did you see that?
No, I'll have to look. I'm not always good at looking at my channel's email, unfortunately. I will look. I'm not going to make excuses. I did not see it, so I'll have to look. Or if I did, I blew by it quick. I just got so much stuff I'm trying to do at one time.
So
My
Charles,
mind,
I guess
Mm.
Charles had asked this question, and it's a real good point too, Roy. Ball heads, ball heads are good for some things, but I got to tell you, after I got one and started playing with it, they're kind of a pain in the butt. And definitely, if you think you're going to go out and shoot wildlife and use a ball head as a gimbal, you can, but you have to constantly hold on to the camera and lens, especially with super telephoto lenses. And the minute you hesitate, it just flops over to the side or drops or whatever. So yeah, uh, there are a couple of ball heads out there that'll act like gimbals, and I have one, Acrotech, which acts as a gimbal when you move the lens to the gimbal position or the cradle on it, and it works okay. It's one of those things that
Like
works in a pinch.
I got the same one, Chuck. I got an Acrotech as well.
It will work. It works in a pinch, but it doesn't compare to a real gimbal with a cradle. Hmm. Yeah, I want to put this up here. It is extremely generous, Long Rider. And we're going to have to talk about how we do this, but yeah, I do appreciate that. Uh, Charles started using a fluid head more after a lot of Hudson Henry videos. Yeah, and you can. You can. Yeah, you absolutely can. But sometimes you're fighting the resistance in the gimbal head to get to where you want to go. However, or the fluid head, I'm sorry, to get to where you want to go. But it is definitely a whole lot more stable. And for a lot of people, that's what they'd rather use. Nothing wrong with that. Uh, Darren Francis, there you go. And this is what we, the small channels, need to do is kind of make sure we point out all the other folks that are doing good work, and we just don't, we don't know about it. So I get emails from you all to go find people, and Charles did that with me with D Moots Photography, and I feel like, man, we're already friends. He's such a good guy. So yeah, this is what we do. So if you guys have channels, by all means, bring it up in the chat. Places we need to go check out, or people we need to check out. I'm all about that. Let's spread the wealth. Um, uh, let's see. That's interesting. I don't know, but I'll bet you somebody's trying it. It's a good question. I don't know if it would be as responsive as we'd want it to be, but maybe that could be figured into the mechanics of it as well. You can bet if somebody puts one out that everybody will be talking about it. No doubt about that. Mozman wins. You have to buy something Sony with the gift card. uh, yeah, there you go. Actually, yeah, Chuck Talks has been connecting with photographers since 2021, but the channel's been around for quite a while. I just didn't put any effort into it. I was still busy working. I took down a lot of those videos. I left a few of them up, but you talking about rants. I could do some ranting in those old videos, especially during COVID when Nikon seemed to be hiding and Canon was using that opportunity to promote itself. I just thought Nikon missed the boat. But anyway, I won't get into that and go into the rants. Uh, uh, Daw talking about he loves the ball head. And I use the ball head in the studio, and also the Manfrotto grip head that I really like. It's so much easier to use in the studio for quick movements. But yeah, check out a fluid head, man. I don't know if it suits what you're doing, Daw, but you might like it. Uh, Yes, Mr. V had a great video on the 100 to 400 and 400 4.5. Thank you again, Mozman, for being a part of that. What was I going to say? Oh,
Uh,
he got an honorable mention today by, today by Grays of Westminster, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Grays of Westminster was on doing a lens review or the news fix. And when they got to the end talking about third party and read and watch or whatever, they brought up Verhagen's video. So if you haven't seen it, you need to go over to Photography. I can't believe anybody here wouldn't know who Photography is, since so many people came over to check out my channel from Photography. But yeah, you need to check the video out if you haven't. Uh, uh,
Mossman is like a B&H for Verhagen. You know, Mossman has it all. Verhagen doesn't have to go to a camera store; just call Mossman up.
Mozman's going to get another gift card to gift it. That's great. Uh, RS talking about his Suray gimbal. There you go. And this is again sharing the knowledge and helping people out. Let them make a decision, see what fits their needs and finances. All that goes on over here in the chat. You guys are fantastic. Uh, Charles, I'm not a Manfrotto fan except for the fluid heads. I agree with you there, Charles. I don't own a Manfrotto uh, set of Manfrotto sticks, as the saying goes, or a tripod. But I know their fluid heads are great. I just haven't gotten around to buying a Manfrotto fluid head yet. I've got a cheapo one that I use from time to time, but I know their fluid heads are fantastic for the money. And people will say, "Well, that thing's $500." Yeah, but go check out some other fluid heads prices. Uh, they're very expensive. All right, all right.
Long Rider, I went and I looked on my phone. I found your email. I responded. Thank you very much. So I caught up.
Hey, thanks for responding to him there, Anthony. That just goes to show the kind of person you are. And again, I love your channel. Uh, let's see, man. I'm still so far behind. I look over here at the other monitor, and you guys are just moving on without me.
They type so fast, and we're outnumbered. That's the problem.
Yep,
We're out.
yep. Another get down here to another Anthony comment. Started with ball heads, but for me, they just don't stand the test of time. I'm sure the really expensive ones are great, but the mid price ones, they lose their stickiness after a while. Yeah, I have one and that's why I went out and bought the Acrotech, because I have a cheaper ball head that just, well, for me, it didn't lose its stickiness. It lost its glide. I mean, the thing was so difficult and choppy to move it. It was kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know what happened to it. And I know you can adjust them and do everything else, but everything I tried didn't help. That's when I went out and bought the Acrotech. The Acrotech uh, is a good ball head for a lot of things. It's just not fantastic for gimbal work, but they specifically made this to work as a gimbal. And if you just check out Acrotech, you'll see what I'm talking about.
It's well made. I mean, I got I don't know which one you got. I got the what they call the GP ball head one. And then you just tilt it to the left into the cradle, and then you can move your lens up and down and have the pan loose, and it's like a little bit of a gimbal. I mean, not going to be a replacement, but like you said, if you're not using it all the time, maybe it saves you the cost of having multiple tripod heads.
Yeah. Jeffrey, Long Rider has some bird ID books.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
I just answered his email that he sent me that I was negligent on, so I sent him my email with a thank you, so he can see my reply. That would be great. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, doll. That's where, something like an air show, that's where a gimbal's in its element, man. Um, I think they bring them just to look, just to take up space and look cool. Well, I'll tell you what, if you use one at an air show, you'll find out real quick why it's perfect for something like that, because you're not fighting holding the lens or anything else. It's, everything's on the gimbal, and man, it just makes it so easy to track fast moving things like aircraft and whatnot. Yeah. Anthony talking about the ball heads again. They loosen up and the other thing is, here's something else, and you'll hear people talk about this with the ball head or with, and so many other head types creep. When you tighten it down, does it creep? And that becomes a pain. As soon as you tighten down some of the ball heads or even the gimbals, you get that creep. You're locked on the subject. You got it exactly where you want it. You try to lock it down, and then it creeps when you're tightening, and that's a pain in the butt. That's why, again, buying more expensive equipment sometimes saves you a lot of headache. Yeah, you're absolutely right, uh, Roy. However, the Acrotech will handle it. You loosen up the ring on the lens, so you have all movements, panning with that head. Here's the only kicker, as you say, when you get into heavy lenses and camera, because it hangs off the side, the balance on the tripod isn't fantastic. It's stable enough, but you need a pretty stable tripod. It will work in a pinch, but again, it doesn't replace the gimbal head at all, the normal gimbal head. I'm not trying to sell that to anybody, the Acrotech. I'm just saying that it does provide that capability.
There's too many bald head comments coming out here, Chuck.
Bald head.
Instead of ball head, they're thinking bald head.
Okay.
My head, for the record, will not fit on any tripod known to man.
Hey, hey, David, thanks for coming by, brother. We love what you're doing. We're going to continue to watch and continue to hang out in our community. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, yeah. 46 people watching, and how many likes? 32 likes. Yeah. Well, there may be what, 6 people that, or how many? Well, we got 42, 46 watching. Okay, 32. So we've got 14 people that don't care about what they're watching. I'm okay with that. That's pretty good odds in Vegas.
No, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't even get 10% on my channel, and I'm going to say, if you watched it and you liked it, I'm gonna have to beg for likes and say, if you don't like it, then tell me why, because then I'll improve it. All right. I don't have a problem with somebody criticizing what I put on my channel, but if nobody ever says anything, then nothing's going to change. I just think I'm doing okay.
There's a good question from Mike Farwell. How do you handle ticks when you're shooting in the field? Well, it's actually not just ticks, but chiggers. And anybody up that's lived up north all their life have no idea what chiggers are. And they're worse than ticks, because once you get into chiggers, you're going to live with that for a week or so, and it's miserable. But anyway, for ticks, what I always did, I don't do it anymore. I don't suggest anybody do it. I don't know if we should have done it, but in the Army, we honestly put flea and tick collars around our ankles on the outside of our boots. And it did a fantastic job of keeping ticks off, believe it or not. But then again, we're also covered in off, or we used to use permethrin, which you can actually still buy, and you can spray your clothing with that. And it's washable up to 2 or 3 times before you have to redo your clothing. But permethrin works fantastic for not just chiggers, ticks, but also mosquitoes, believe it or not. So I haven't spent enough time in the field lately to saturate anything that I'm going to wear out, into the field. But permethrin is a fantastic product. I, Evidently, it's not harmful. I guess it would be if you ingested it, but spraying your clothes, letting them dry, and then wearing those clothes to the field, it does a fantastic job. But in real bad areas, yeah, we wore the dog flea and tick collars around her ankles. The medics eventually, the battalion surgeon told us to stop it, but it's just one of those things. He wasn't spending the amount of time we were out in the field fighting chiggers and ticks and everything. So there you have it. That's what I would recommend. Check out permethrin. You can find it on Amazon. Let's see. Martin, I have not, but I will now that you mention it. Again, that's what the community does. It kind of keeps us all informed. I will check it out. Thomas Heaton. I like Thomas. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Roy. They are completely different. And I know I'm so far behind here. RS, thank you very much. I just saw a new subscriber come up. Thank you very much.
Roy says leeches and snakes are more of a problem where he is. Everything where he is will kill you.
Yes, isn't that
I
the
don't even know
saying?
if I'd ever leave the house if I lived where he is. Everything out there wants to kill you or poison you or whatever.
Yeah, don't go in the water in the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, or water because crocodiles and great white sharks and everything.
Poisonous snakes, poisonous spiders, you name it, they got it. I mean,
yeah, that is a great tip there also, Long Rider. Thank you. I didn't think about it only because obviously we were never wearing white into the field. But it's a good point. Not only that, but I mean, it gives you an opportunity to see them on your clothing before they latch on. And I know everybody knows this. As soon as you come back in, check every tight fitting area where you're wearing clothing, your belt line, your socks, anywhere there's a tight point, a choke point. It seems like that's where they like to go and latch on. Here we go. I Explore. Yeah, I've been checking him out, Ray. You're absolutely right. I've watched a couple of his videos. I Explore on YouTube. All right, let me see. Drum roll, please. And it would be appropriate for
Hello.
Mr. Vahagen. How are you, buddy? You're back.
Good morning, everyone. Is my mic okay?
Yes, it
You're
is.
good. But you got the drum set. You got to do your own drum roll because all I got is my fingers on my desk.
Hey guys, I apologize. I just we got in pretty late and I couldn't set up the cam system, so I just said I'd join with audio if that's okay with Chuck.
Absolutely, man. Talk to us, brother. I know you just got back from your trip. So did you get back last night or did you have to
Yeah.
wait till today?
Yeah, I got late last night. The flight was delayed 2 times and I was supposed to be back at like 5 p.m., but we got in like at 1 in the morning. So it was exciting,
Yeah.
They didn't lose your luggage, did they?
No.
That seems to be a going trend right now is people not getting their luggage.
No. Well, like a smaller trip like this, I usually just do carry-ons, so I don't have to mess with all that, that stuff. But how's it going, man? How's everybody doing?
Doing good here. A lot of people in the chat having a good time, man. Having a good time.
That's good. That's good.
J Rod V in the house.
So yeah, I caught a little bit of that. I was turning on my computer. Good, interesting talk over here. But I'm pretty excited for this weekend, Mozman. If Mozman's in the house,
Yeah, he's here.
we got the U.S. Open 2022 surfing this Saturday. It starts this Saturday. They got a whole setup over there, and it's gonna be perfect for what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the lenses and we're gonna have fun.
Should be a lot of fun, man. I know you like being down at the beach anyway, so that's going to make the video even better because you enjoy where you're at.
Oh, it's gonna be a big event. Surfing, skateboarding, wow. You should just see the setup. They got the whole beach with it's gonna be a lot of people. Thinking about taking my 600 and the Z9. I'm gonna take my recorder, and then obviously Mosman's gonna take his 400. And I might just because I think I'm gonna be just too. I think I'm gonna take my 105 too, just to do some skater shots. So we'll see. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And I know you're going to give us a quick glimpse while you're out there, a little couple of minutes of live, so we can see what's going on. But I'd love to be there to shoot it with you. I actually just be there to film it, the behind the scenes with you guys. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I know you're going to have fun, and it's going to be nice to see those lenses rocking, as everybody's already talking about. Bring out the big lenses.
Yeah, when we shot that video with the 4.5 and the other lens, the 100 400, we met at the pier and then we saw them already setting up. So it's this event. It starts on Saturday, and it's gonna be huge. And I can't wait. If you guys want to join us, anybody that's in the area, we're just gonna have a good time. It's open for everybody to join, and hopefully we can get some good shots.
James just said, "Let's all go."
Say hello to Tay quick. How you doing?
So interesting things in Vegas, Chuck. I'm sure that I visited. What is Lick's Gallery? Lick?
Yeah, Peter Lick.
Yeah, he has a gallery there, and I was filming it, and then they stopped me. They're like, "Oh, wait, you're not supposed to be filming it inside the gallery." And then, but man, this guy's got it down to a science. I mean,
Yeah.
his minimum product is $5,000. It goes up to like 20 grand.
Wow.
And these things are huge. I asked the guy, that salesman who was there, like, how does it work? Is it a minimum quantity to print, and how does it work? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, their photo paper, and it's made with acrylic. It's very interesting. Huge pieces, man, but a lot of Photoshop, a lot of composite work. And by the way, those moons are fake. I mean, you can't. There's no way these moons are real.
You need a 10,000 millimeter lens to get that kind of compression. So
Yeah,
what you guys don't know is Vahagan, actually, I said he was out there enjoying some time with his family, but he was scouting for our trip to WPPI. Now that Anthony Toglife brings it up, Anthony, we've been talking about it here on the channels. We're really seriously. I think several people have already said that they're going to go. So yeah, you can expect to find me out there getting in trouble, Anthony, and so Vahagan's been out there scouting, setting us up for WPPI so that more and more people can show up and we can all have a good time together. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to kind of network with all the different people that I've met on YouTube, get a chance to actually meet in person. I think that's going to be one of the big draws.
yeah, it's gonna be a nice event. I can't wait to meet all of you guys. I'll be there. Like I said, Chuck, get some press passes.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to do that. You were talking about it, right? I need to figure out how to do that. You got to help me out with that.
Yeah, I'll take care of it for you. I know the
All right,
way.
man. I think it's going to be, yeah, I think it's going to be great. Everybody gets together out there, or at least all those that can make it. Also, not just that, WPPI is on the list because Mama's already said, oh, yeah, I want to go to Vegas in March. You bet. You're in Connecticut. Vegas looks great in March, doesn't it, Jeffrey?
Oh yeah.
She's all in. She's ready. The other, though, is Imaging USA down in Nashville. You can bet we're going to that. All I had to tell her was that they're holding it at the Opryland Conference complex there. Oh, yeah, we're going. So if anybody's planning to go to Imaging USA this year, it's going to be down in Nashville. and I guess we're going as well. So hope to see people there.
The other thing I want to do is take a video and record it on the showroom floor. Maybe do a few videos on the showroom floor, maybe in front of the Nikon booth and interviewing people.
Oh, brother, I don't want to be on camera or anything else. I don't even want to take pictures. I want to do all the behind the scenes video stuff. You can bet on that. You can absolutely count on that.
All right. I'll bring my Rode mic.
Yeah.
And, we'll rock and roll it, man. There's gonna be a lot of footage, and let's see if. Wonder if Mossman's gonna go. How about Jeffrey?
Oh, me probably not.
Come on, man, get out of here. Hey,
I can't even afford to travel where I want to go. Never mind where I might want to go.
Hey, Chuck, can I share a screen?
Yeah, well, I think you can. If you're, I don't know how. Try it. Go ahead.
Let's see. Share. Wait. Share.
Yeah, please, Anthony.
Please, system permissions. Hold on.
As soon as I see it come up, I'll turn it on.
The one and only time I went to Vegas was to see Celine Dion, who lost her voice and couldn't perform when we went. And then my wife got violently ill when we were ready to head back home, and we almost had to cancel the flight coming home. She was so sick. So it was like the mini long weekend from HELL, if you know what I mean. And that was our one and only Vegas trip. So I don't know that that I'll ever go back. It was so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun. I can understand. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, I know it's all geared towards wedding and portrait, but I mean, that interests me, at least the portrait side of the house, and wedding too. Not that I'm going to become a wedding shooter, but more important is that, just all the vendors that are going to be there. I think that's fantastic. The networking that you can do while you're out there, and just the get together of everybody. Everybody can meet in person. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. Getting to meet everybody in person. And I hope we have others that are going to share in this venture. Long Rider's got to go. All right, buddy. Thanks for dropping in, Long Rider. And again, big round of applause for wanting to donate a gift card, B&H gift card, for the photo review that we're going to do. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure everybody else too. Hope you have a wonderful day, man.
Take it easy, Long Rider. Thanks a lot for your email. Have a good day. And Charles, that's why I spelled the word baby. I didn't actually cuss on Chuck's show.
System preferences, privacy.
Is it working?
I'm going through the menu. I gotta do something with my system preferences.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Cool. Darren's taking off too. Have a good one, Darren. Keep
all right,
getting
Darren.
Port shots.
Yeah, man. Thanks for jumping in. Always good to see all you folks. Something people don't know, Jeffrey, is there so many people that you look at the analytics for your channel when for me doing a live stream, and as long as they go, I have it gives me the max number of people that were in here at any one time, but it doesn't give you how many people were actually coming through. And when you do a 5-hour live stream, which we just recently did, or just short, about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There are probably 150 people that have come and gone. They're in here for a while. I understand everybody's not as crazy as some of us and want to stay around for 5 hours, but it doesn't take into account for that. So I really never know how many people, because a lot of people come in, they just follow for a while, they hear what they want to hear, and they're gone because they're busy or whatever. But you never get any feedback for that. Mr. Vahagan, you are back. You figured it out?
I think I did.
Hey, Rich. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. All right, here we go, Vog, and I'm going to share. Here we go.
All right. So I just want to share some of these videos that I captured here.
Okay.
Like, here's the gallery. So when you walk in, look at the size of these prints.
Oh yeah, that's why they're $5,000 and up.
Yeah.
It's all metallic. Right here, they stopped me. Right here is like, right there. He stopped me. He's like, no more recording. But look at this is a 3-piece right here. I mean, it's a nice gallery. I mean, it's impressive, but it's a lot of editing, and you know.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to take away from it. I mean, I don't care how he does it. I know a lot of people are challenging him on what he does or how he does it or whatever, what he says. I don't care. I mean, you got to admit, they're beautiful.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
the
at the
bottom line is, would you want it hanging on your wall? You know, I mean, it's
Yep.
art. No, I mean,
this is at the Venetian forum shops where like they have all these high-end shops.
Yeah.
So he's got this gallery here, and it's huge. I mean, he sells one. He sells like 2 a month. He's good. You know,
Man.
I don't know where he gets these printed or done, but if you're a landscape shooter, this is something you might want to do. You know, because if you can
I'll
get
tell
your
you,
name,
there's some people that some of the people that I follow that were former National Geographic photographers, like Art Wolf is one of them. He prints all his own prints in his own business. He has his own printers. I mean, the big printers that could do huge prints. So some people have like a whole. I mean, they're basically a company. You know, they have people that do the finish. That tweak the images for them, and they got their own printers, and they do all their own shipping and everything. It's amazing.
Man, look at that cheetah.
now look at this thing. I mean, it's huge. Like, here's the door, right? And this is how big it is. I mean, it's in 4 pieces, and it's an impressive shot. I mean, I like the background. I don't know if it's real, the sky, but it should be.
Probably is, considering where he probably took the picture.
And I asked him, I go, what kind of camera does this guy use? He goes, Phase 1, and he said D50. Here's the front of it, the shop. And then, I hit a jackpot, by the way.
Did you go in and buy a print when you won the jackpot?
Nah, I was in the big jackpot, two grand. But let's see. Here's another one.
$2,000's pretty darn good. I wouldn't complain about that.
Yeah, but I was in it for like 800, so okay, 1,200. So here's one I wanted to show you guys. I mean, this is just total.
This is where the controversy really begins with him.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Go back to the moon photo there.
Yeah, there's no way that it's that big.
So here's one of the arguments was, I guess at some point he said, no, that's one shot. There is no way that's one shot. Can you imagine the depth of field on that super 20,000 millimeter lens he's using? How much depth of field it has?
I mean, look at the clouds around the moon. I mean, that's just total fakery. I mean,
Roy, it has to be a composite. So here's my point about that. Why would you argue with people? Just, tell them this is what I do. I do it for art, and it is beautiful. I won't deny that.
I asked the salesman. He goes, "Oh yeah, it is. It is." He can't escape the fact. I mean, every print is signed like this.
Yep.
It's his signature. What does 15 to 30 mean? I have no idea. Maybe 30 of them printed, or.
Oh yeah, maybe it's like a serial number 15 of 30, limited edition. I bet.
Yeah.
Probably a limited edition, because you could charge a lot more if you do limited editions.
Now this is in San Diego. I know where this is. The Scripps Pier does not look like this. So I mean the background. I mean, this has to be. This is so edited. It's like. All right. Here, this gondola ride in the Venetian, they have photographers there. So she's using a Z6.
Right there. You see that? The Nikon Z6. She's taking pictures of these gondola rides at the shops at Venetian. She's working her ass off using a Z6, Nikon Z6. See that? Look at that.
She's doing her thing, isn't she?
With the Nikon. AP Studios.
So this is the Wynn, beautiful place to take pictures. The back, the waterfall.
Man. James
then-
said that
What's the name of the one there with all the where all the water gets shot up?
Oh, that's the Mirage, or no, the Bellagio. Sorry.
Yeah, that was neat. I got pictures of that when we went. That was neat.
James just said Amar just posted a gondola ride.
So, what I was fascinated about is she's there all night, all day, and then I guess they're taking shifts, and I guess they're transmitting the photo over to the display, so people could actually buy a print. So that's why people were there. You know, that's why she was there taking pictures of the couples in these rides.
Okay.
You know? So how she's getting that file transferred over to the computer system? I'm thinking, what, maybe Wi-Fi?
Yeah, probably using Wi-Fi. Yeah.
It would have to be to have the resolution that they would want to print at. You couldn't use the whatever it is. What's the other cheeky little post on Facebook?
Yeah.
I can't think of it. The Nikon software that everybody likes to.
SnapBridge.
Yeah.
And they don't really need good quality for that, because all they do is give them like an 8x10.
Right.
So, but they're making money, man. Those rides they cost about $130 a ride for two people.
Yeah.
Plus selling the prints.
It's like going on a cruise. That's the same thing on the cruise, where the photographer's running around the boat and taking photos of you and your family or whatever. And then they drag you into the sales booth and show you the prints, and same thing. And you're going to buy them, because how else are you going to get those photos?
I constantly get posts from Indeed. At one time I went on there and I was looking to see what there were for photography jobs, just in case I wanted to maybe do some real estate photography or make some money part-time or whatever. And I keep getting job notifications, but it's all for that type of job. Take pictures of people at the aquarium, take pictures of people at at all these different amusement parks or whatever, for just like that young lady was, that type of stuff. It's like I have no interest in doing any of that stuff.
But what was surprising is that I saw the Nikon Z camera, and I'm like, okay, this is good. Straight out of the camera, good files. You don't need to edit anything. Skin tones, it only makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the bracket for the flash, you know how those pictures are gonna look.
Yep.
Direct flash.
Yep. Mozman's back.
What I would do is set up an umbrella, and hit that light from the side.
Yep.
Add some dimension to that photo. Maybe set up some lights, but I mean, it's a big place. What's up, Moz? Yeah, we got back last night late.
All right, Jeffrey, time to hit the little boy's room.
Uh-oh.
Keep us running. Don't drop out. Don't drop out, Vahagen.
Don't leave me now. Don't leave me now.
Yeah, I'll be right back, folks.
I'm here.
All right.
Hey, Mozman, Saturday. because I know he was asking when we're going. Is that cool? Let me know.
But yeah, I get those little notifications all the time for photo jobs or sporting or like high school sporting events or something. And some places, oh, we'll pay you $35 an hour to do this or do that. But you gotta, but you gotta be basically on call, and be able to just quit whatever you're doing and go show up and take pictures and stuff. So I'm like, I'll do what I enjoy to do and leave it at that. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
desperate for money yet, but that may change when I get all my medical bills. That'll probably change. I'll have to go work back at the grocery store like I did when I was 16.
One other thing I want to add about that, Peter, his name Peter Lick? Is it Peter? His first name? Whatever.
Sure.
So he's got that system down pat. I mean, yeah, you might think you might have some issue with his editing or it's too much editing or composite work. But if he can turn a huge profit into landscape photography and have his work being sold at thousands of dollars, I mean, you got to, tip your hat off to this guy. He's got 4 or 5 galleries around the world. And I guess, you know what? If I was a landscape shooter and I want to make some money and a lot of money, I would probably, see what he's doing and try to, tap into some of that profit because there's money to be made. A husband and wife walk into his gallery. The wife says, "Oh, look at this, big print on the wall, huge." And they're lit, right? I mean, they're lit like where the light hits the metallic paper and it just all the colors come out, the contrast comes out, and it's impressive. It's on plexi on both sides, and it's on photo paper, metallic plexi, and it's impressive. I mean,
Well, I think a lot of the images like that you showed in your video that are that size, I think a lot of that stuff probably gets bought as not just by individuals, but I bet you a lot of that gets bought in for commercial space. When they're decorating, they build a new building or whatever, and they want to put artwork in the building, that they would buy images that are that big because they got much bigger walls than most people would have in their house for stuff of that size. And he
yeah.
probably sells a lot of stuff to businesses and stuff, corporate clients. I bet buy a lot of his stuff.
It's funny. I asked the salesman, they're working. The guy I was talking to, I'm like, "Have you ever met him?" "Oh, I met him once years ago." I'm like, "Okay." He doesn't show up to his gallery, and he lives in Vegas, by the way. I asked him. He goes, I go, "When's the last time Mr. Lick's been here to the gallery?" "Oh, it's a couple of years." He's always traveling, he says. So I don't know if it's true where he sold a print for like $5 million. I don't know, but there's no record of that anywhere. So usually when something big like that sells for a record price, there's like an auction record or something, but there's no record of that sale ever happening. It's still black and white. I think I forgot what the piece is called, but yeah. So
Well, I've looked at prices from like I said, certain photographers and a lot of the photographers, the prints are, let's just say a print that's 20 by 30 might be $500. If you go larger than that, it could be $1,000. And then it depends if it's a limited edition, it'll be, or signed, and it'll be more. But those are print only. So those are not prints that are mounted on anything. They just sell the prints. They don't get into framing it or mounting it or anything. Like here, the print, it's anywhere from $500 to $2,000 depending on the print. And now I have no clue how many they really sell. I mean, I'm sure some people buy them, but I mean, I'm probably a lot more people buy them than I think because I don't have that kind of money to spend on stuff like that. So I assume that nobody has that much money to spend on stuff like that, which is not realistic. There are a lot of people that can spend that money and $2,000 is to them is like, $10 for me or something. So I'm
Yeah,
sure there's an audience.
I think he's geared more towards that person that's like not a photographer or not like doesn't understand photography, but that couple that has a lot of money, like you said, that walks in and says, "Oh wow, we need to have this in our living room," like artwork, like a lot of the art that's sold. It's like you necessarily had that painting doesn't have to be the best painting in the world, but it can like speak to somebody that wants that piece of art,
Yeah.
like a lot of artists I don't really like, kind of not into their work. Like Pablo Picasso is one of them. I think his work for me is not like, I'm not really into his work that much, but people pay millions of dollars to own his art. I'm personally, I like Rembrandt, I like Van Gogh's, those type of paintings, but yeah, man, that I think he's geared towards that couple that comes in and says, "Okay, I need to have that. We need to have that. We just hit $10,000 on the slot machine. Let's put that, yeah, let's put that money into this picture, and let's have some, memento or souvenir to take home with us instead of going out in the casino and blowing it back out." So, uh, next to all these retail shops that are like the high end clothing stores, there's a there's a handbag store that's not too far away that sells $15,000 to $20,000 handbags. Okay, so if somebody spends 15 grand on a handbag or a $20,000 Rolex, here's something that looks massively impressive. He sells two or three a month. That's it. So
I mean, the thing is, like, especially if you're a wildlife and nature shooter, I mean, you have to be fortunate enough to be able to, people like pictures of someplace that they may never get to go. Whether it be photos in Alaska or birds in Costa Rica or the wildebeest getting attacked by the crocodiles in Africa, those types of shots, because they may never ever have an opportunity to to go to those places, and they're willing to pay the money for the images. But the photographers that do that and can make money from it, obviously, you have to have money to make money, as they say. You got to be able to afford to travel to all these places and get those great shots to begin with. But there is a market for that. But it's like, if you're just taking, like I do, wildlife in my near my house or something, and I'm not going to those places, I have a very, very limited audience versus somebody that's able to travel the world and go to all these great places. That's what people like to buy.
Yeah, no. Hey, Rich, I wasn't talking about him personally. I was talking about just some of his paintings is not my cup of tea. Pablo Picasso. Like I said, it's personal preference. I'm not talking bad about the guy. I'm just saying his paintings are not my favorite. So don't take offense to that. Hey, Chuck, I was just telling Jeffrey and everybody that those images on his gallery, they're lit right. They're lit with lighting. Now, if
Yeah,
you put that in your living room with no special lighting, those are metallic prints. It's not gonna pop. You need to
right,
have special light that hits that metallic print with acrylic. So
right. Absolutely. And I would think that if you bought something like that, one, you're considering an investment, and you're going to light it when you buy it, and put it up in your house or wherever.
uh I wouldn't call that an investment. I don't know if it's gonna go up in value because he makes duplicate prints. Personally, if I were to make an investment in art, it'd be, one-offs or paintings. Do you agree with me, guys?
I
Well, that's where that whole limited edition thing comes in, that they try to say, well, we're only going to make, of course they cheat on that. They go limited edition series 1 or something is going to be 200 signed prints serialized, and then you know, if it works out real well, and then all of a sudden they come out with, you know, they change the name and call it limited edition series 2, you know, and they sell the same print again for a little less money or something. Maybe it's a different size or what have you. There's always this creative marketing that goes on with selling art, or, you know.
Well, when it's art and it's original, it's different because it can't be duplicated.
Hey guys, hey, sorry to let me bring in Mr. David Moots. He's D Moots Photography. He just decided to jump in here. David,
Hey,
Hello,
how
David.
you doing, Dave?
How you doing? Can you hear me all right?
yes sir.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice
All
to
right.
meet you.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, nice to see
Yeah.
the face behind the name.
Thanks.
Yeah, David, we're talking about Peter Lick. Excuse me. Vaughan was just out in Vegas, and he went to the Peter Lick showroom or gallery talking about his photos. Are you familiar with Peter Lick?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and all the controversy that goes along with him.
Oh yes. Yes.
But you know what? You can't take away from the beautiful prints, regardless of how he did it or whatever. I wish he would just come out and say, "Look, man, I just produce art, and this is what I produce. And if you
Exactly.
like it, you like it."
Exactly.
I think they started to do that now because they couldn't hide from what was really, obvious in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
So
That's good. It adds more to him, you know, if he doesn't get into those controversial things. But I know that he was initially talking about, no, that's one shot. No, no,
Yeah.
you don't get the leaves that are 5 feet away and the moon that is, you
Yeah.
know, a bajillion miles away, all in one shot. Sorry. And oh, by the way, the moon's way too big here.
yeah.
The question is, how many layers in Photoshop did you have?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the real question.
It's a lot of work. I mean, it put a lot of work into the editing, and I don't think he even does the editing. He has somebody doing it for him.
That may be the case too.
So
There's a pop music fan talking about he's not a professional by any means. Okay, that's me. By the way,
Hey, me too. I'm not a professional.
I use it for fun, very casual shoots. I'm an amateur. That's me too, man. That's me too.
hey,
And
I think David's mic is not on. I think he's using the laptop mic. If you could go to settings and switch it.
Let me try that. Hold on here.
look at Vaughan, man.
Wow,
On
he's
it.
all that.
Because that's an impressive mic, and I don't think it's
There you go. Is it working now?
Yeah,
tap on it.
Is it working now?
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have it set for the USB mic.
There you go.
You look like you're all ready to, you know, go work for WKRP in Cincinnati or something.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Hey, I'm a retired government worker, man. I did 33 years with local government and just recently retired.
nothing wrong with that.
No. It's been good to me.
Well, I just want to say one thing, David. I like what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
I always commend. These guys know. I always. I'm a guy that likes to bring up the little guy, in this thing. So I'm a big fan of that. Giving shout outs to a guy that has 1 subscriber. Even. Hey guys, check this guy out. You know what I mean?
Hey, I was scrolling through last night and I saw your 100 to 400 and 400 comparison video, and I was like, dang it, he beat me to it.
Actually, I want to thank Chuck for that and Mozman, because if it wasn't for those two fine gentlemen, I would not have that opportunity to do that. And Chuck gave me a lot of ideas on the way to that shoot, and I want to thank him for that. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah, I really like the way you did that.
No, you're absolutely welcome, Vaughan, because that's been the big question with everybody with those 2 lenses. Is everybody's trying to figure out which one do I get, and you can't tell people which one they should get, but you can give them information so that they may be able to make a decision. And then if they're like me, they want both. But but I've got to settle on one. So having more information is even better to make that choice. Both of you did a great job.
Yeah,
I
I mean, if
appreciate
I
it.
can
Thanks.
add one thing to this, these are like it's hard to get it 100% with these reviews. There's a few elements involved. Time. You got 1 hour and a half. The sun goes totally, sets. Also, there's people walking behind us. There's a narrow bridge, and we always have to get out of the way so they can walk past us. And these are not 100% scientific. You can never do it 100%. So it's hard, but we try to get it as close as possible. I know there's a few images that maybe the color temperature was off. I kind of wanted to just keep it straight from the camera. I didn't want to edit any of these cut shots. So yeah, it's hard, man. It's
It
hard.
is.
No, it is. And there's always going to be people out there. And I talked to Moz, man. I just noticed the color shift as well. So I had asked him, even if you set both cameras up for whatever reason, it's just one of those things, is just to try to deny people the chance to throw cheap shots. But, using the lens on the same camera over and over and over, without switching cameras, I know it should be identical, but there are people that are going to call you on it.
You have
But now and David will attest to, in his review, I left a comment saying, at least in the beginning, I noticed the contrast and saturation was better, by not by much, but by a smidge on the 1 to 400. And the only
It
thing that
was
I
at
could,
times. It was.
yeah, I don't understand it, but maybe it was the light, because as you know, dropping the exposure by just a tad will add more contrast or saturation to a photo. So I don't know if that's what it was or what, but
And like I said, like I said, I didn't lock down my ISO. I shot in auto, and I typically shoot that way: aperture priority, auto
right.
ISO, manual with some auto ISO, and I don't lock things down a lot. And that's my review. I just kind of just went out and shot how I normally shot and
Well,
or normally shoot.
I appreciate, what you did, what Vahagan did by letting people know, look, this isn't take it into a lab and
Yeah,
give all the critical review of, what it does here, there, or whatever, which those are good at times too. But a lot of people just enjoy seeing the everyday shooter out using these things. And then they can make a choice based on, okay, that's what I could expect from the lens.
yeah.
I'd rather see real world
Yeah.
reviews than lab generated reviews any day. And then people got to realize too, which they don't always, is that you could have 3 people with 3 Z9s, and every spec on every camera has a window. Are you at the high
Yeah.
end of the spec, the low end of the spec? And something as simple as that could give you a different result, even though you're using the same lens on different bodies, but all the bodies are the same. You could get a slightly different result from each camera. They're not all
Yeah.
exactly calibrated exactly the same. They just have to fit a certain window when they go out the door.
And
Hey,
that could be part of mine. I shot on 2 different Z9s, even though I had them set up identical. I used my wife's Z9 and mine, and that could be the difference.
Hey, while I got him in here, Mr. Vahagan, I sent him a text, but again, congratulations, man. Grays of Westminster gave you a shout out on your video.
Thank you, man.
Nice.
Yeah. That
Thank
goes
you.
a long way, because that's a great crowd over there that they have. They have a great community over there as well.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's karma, man. You pay it forward, and
Absolutely.
you just keep doing your thing, and eventually, people will take notice, and they'll like it or they won't like it, but but yeah, I got to give them props. They're one of the Nikon communities that they're one of the pillars of our community that they have the shop, and they're always consistent with videos and live
Yeah.
streams, and I want to just say thank you to them.
Yeah,
Thank
they're
you,
one
sir.
of the they're one of the few places that I know of. I mean, other than what we're doing, Vahagan, that actually involves the audience. And I think that goes a long way. That's why they've grown so significantly, because so few places do the people that make videos even answer your comments or questions after, the video, after watching the video. And let alone the fact that there really aren't any, live streams out there. And that's what makes them so liked, is the fact that they go back and forth with the audience, and everybody wants to be able to have their 5 seconds of asking a question in a live stream or something, getting an answer to it. I don't know how everybody feels about it here, because I can't possibly get through all the comments and questions. I try every time, and then I get so far behind that I have to skip comments. But anyway, that's one of the things I think people love about Grays. Not just that they're a Nikon only, shop or whatever, but hey, congrats again, man. That's big, getting a shout out by them, because that audience is huge over there.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
you're welcome.
They're all going to start walking around doing rock and roll.
Hey, this is a good comment, and I don't want to get away from where we were and everything else, but today, trying to keep people involved in chat with everything other than specs and reviews and everything. John's responding to Greg Wilson. Many artists and vendors have assistants, etc., that do the significant amount of work and take their work as their own. That's absolutely true, but I don't have a problem with that, because I know the comment was made earlier. He probably has somebody else that Peter Leck has somebody else that does the Photoshop work or whatever. But that's like Peter Hurley. If you think he's going to give up his signature on any of the photos that he takes for all these celebrities, the headshots, he doesn't do any editing. That goes out to an editor, and he makes that very clear. But it's still his photo that they begin with. So I guess, and I would agree with that. Even if you have somebody else tweak a photo or do whatever, it's my photo, and that's what they started with. So therefore, the end product is mine as well. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if they hire someone to do the editing for them, they want the image to have a certain style that reflects what they want. They took the image, so they're going to pass that information on. And in the beginning, they're probably going to look very closely at how this person is editing their photos, and basically have to sign off on it before it gets out there. It has to reflect their style or what they like to show. So I don't have an issue with that. I mean,
plus they're signing up for that. I mean, they're getting paid to work for that individual. Just like there was a video put out recently by Vanessa Joy with Joe Busing, one of the
top, saw that.
You saw that, right?
Yep.
So he said, they don't even know me. He goes, "Oh, you want photo taken? Here's my second guy. He's the one doing that. He's just roaming around."
I could relate to that, Vahagan. I found that so interesting, because I feel the same way. If I were shooting weddings, I want to do the documentary part and let somebody else do all the posed photos and all that. It sounds crazy, but then I heard him say it, and I thought, wow, maybe I'm not so crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's you're signing up and you're getting paid, so you don't complain. If you don't want to do it, find another work. I mean,
yeah,
something else to do. But
Chuck wants to get the picture of the kid that drops the cake and ice cream on their lap.
Yeah, tell me that people don't want to see that, though.
Yeah. So I just want to say one other thing. Chuck, you're doing a fine job here.
Well, thank you.
Live streams. I think you're the king of these live streams. And you definitely congratulations on them. And I really enjoy it. You're bringing the community together, and it's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that, again, that was the intent, from Jump Street. Is I'll be honest here. I didn't think about, well, what kind of community can we build? But it seems to work out that way. And, like minds flock together. And I just hope there are more out there that want to enjoy it the way we do. So thank you very much, and having a good time doing it.
That being said, just want to, if you don't mind, Chuck, if I can just talk for about a minute Just want
No,
to,
I know what you go right ahead, brother. The
yeah.
mic is yours.
All right. So, guys, I know I missed the live stream yesterday, and I was thinking about this with Chuck. I was talking about it with Chuck, and I'm thinking I'm planning on just taking a hiatus from the live streaming every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Uh, I'm gonna take some time off doing that. I just want to focus more on making videos. What I love to do is making these videos and just trying my best at that for now. And then contributing to Chuck Talks, which, my friend used to call, we used to hang out at my friend's house all the time. Central Station. This Chuck Talks is Grand Central Station for all of us. So I think this is the best. I was kind of getting burned out with the live streaming, with inviting guests over, and I was like, you know what? Why am I even, you know, stressing out over this? Uh, so I want to concentrate on making videos and as far as live stream goes, maybe surprise impromptu lives. Just if I feel like coming live anytime, any day, if you happen to be on YouTube or if you get the notification, come on and join us. But I think for a while, I'm probably going to do that. I am going to do that. So I made up my mind. So if you guys wondering, Tuesday, 10 a.m., I'm going to take a hiatus from that and concentrate on videos. All right.
Hey, brother, we support you 100%. You know, you're always welcome in here to voice an opinion or whatever. But the big thing is take care of yourself. And I understand as we had those conversations, man, I don't know how you keep up with it. You got so much going on. And I definitely understand the whole idea. I've got to find some way to kind of pare it back a little bit. So more power to you. Does that mean we get more videos though?
Yeah, you're gonna get.
Yeah, we're gonna add the pressure on you that we got to get more video.
No, it's not. You're gonna get. I'm gonna try my best in making better content. There you go. Better content, more detail oriented videos, and impromptu live streams. I'll still live stream, but when I have some time, and it'd be surprise. You know what I mean? Okay, we're on now. So yeah, that's about it. And thanks guys for listening and watching those live streams in the past. They'll live forever on the channel. And there's some really memorable moments that we've had on Vahography Talk. But I think that right now, just need to put some more time into my client work and making videos for the channel. So, yeah, that's about it.
You still work for a living too. You know, it's not like you're retired, man. You're like burning the candle at both ends real fast.
Yes, and we've talked about that, Vahagan and I, that people don't. And I'm not doing this to beg for sympathy or anything, but nobody understands how much time it takes to do things like this. And well, Jeffrey, you would know too. And same thing for you, David. There's more involved than the 30 minutes that your video is airing, or the 5 hours that you're doing a live stream, or whatever it happens to be. There's so much more that goes into it. And I'm not trying to make excuses for not doing it anymore or anything like that, but that's why when we come together, David, Jeffrey, Vahagan, all of us that are doing stuff like this, and we can talk candidly amongst ourselves about, man, it's getting the pressures, on me. I've got all this to do. And you kind of feel like you owe the audience or whatever, or something. It's funny how that creeps in real quick on you owe the audience something. And if you don't give it to them, you feel like, well, I've let them down and, or whatever.
Yeah, well, there you go, Mozman. He said, well, maybe you could publish Tuesday mornings as an alternative or now to fill in the void.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's not going to let you take any break.
Hey guys, I know it's hard when you get used to a schedule. It's like, okay, what do we do now? There's no show. But and I tell Chuck this all the time. I go, how do you do it with coming on my show on Tuesday and then having to reload for your show? It's like I have to, when I'm making a video and I'm editing a video and it's done, it's uploaded. then I have to like reset myself and come up with content for the live stream, and it's difficult, man. So
Yeah, and I'm not complaining, and I know you really aren't complaining either, Vahagan. I enjoy what I'm doing, and you guys in the audience, and I'm sure they can all say the same thing. And now that we've got David in here, he's going to become a regular, aren't you, David?
Sure will. You bet.
All right.
there you
So we'll
go.
just continue to build this community and not complaining about it. But there are times when it's like, wow, man, what am I going to talk about next? What haven't we talked about? Well, there isn't anything we haven't talked about. So that's why I tell you guys in the chat, you're bringing topics to the table for a lot of these live streams, and people like Vahagan and Jeffrey and David take away from what you're talking about in the chat. Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe I should look at that or this, from this viewpoint or whatever. So it's just we all help each other out. And when I say we all, I'm including you, the audience, because you guys are what make it happen.
Hey, I want to just say, John Young, like John, I'm not going away, but it's just going to be different a little bit with the live streams. But as far as that comment from John, Chuck and Jeffrey, please don't go away. Pressure's on you, Chuck.
Yeah, I know. And, and again, another topic that Vaughan and I talked about, and then I need to shut up so everybody else can talk or whatever, is what happens when I get ready to move? Because I know that it's going to take away from this for a short time. There's just no way around it. And as I talked to Vaughan, we talked about, well, there is the possibility of just going live for a short time using the phone in the middle of everything that's going on. But it bothers me, though, to think about, I'm going to mess up the schedule and everything.
Well, here's what we can do for you. If that happens, either me or Jeffrey can go live and say, hey, this is, we're here for Chuck. He's we're taking his spot for that Saturday or that Wednesday.
Oh, we can't replace Chuck. I don't have that fancy light panel that to the right of him there and all those buttons to push.
Yeah, and they don't mean anything. They're just LED. They're just LED
operators
lights.
Are standing by.
They're just LED lights that I bought and stuck over there. It looks fancy.
But one more thing, I just want to thank everybody for your support on the chat here. All right, you guys are all special to me, and if every single one of you, I read all your comments. I haven't had a chance to respond to any of my video comments, but I read them. So, and thank you for all this love and support here, man. Appreciate it.
No, thank you. I mean, your content is excellent, and you got a great personality, and
thank you, man.
Yeah, just back up a couple steps. I mean, you're working a full-time job on top of everything else you were trying to do. I don't know how you do it. I mean,
I don't either. I kept telling him that.
Plus, I gotta really get in shape, man, because this fucking 4 or 5 months has been just nothing but work, and I haven't hit the gym. I've gained weight, and I'm really focused on getting into shape, so that's my goal. I know I've been saying this for 6-7 months. I know you watch my previous videos and it's like, wow, you gained some weight. Yeah, that's one thing I have to really do for my health, if anything else. So yeah.
Hey,
yeah, I'm getting into shape too. I just haven't figured out what shape that's going to be.
Careful, I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, good to
we
see
go to
you,
the
buddy.
same barber, right? Right, Dave? We got the same barber.
Yep.
We get a discount. A twofer discount.
Yeah, Charles brought up, Roy, we'd like to see you more on the show. Roy, you're welcome anytime you want. I'll start sending the link so you can just pick and choose as you go, buddy. Now, some people don't want that. They're like, no, I don't want to go through all that hassle of being on the show. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised, David, that you jumped in here when you had to go. But I guess just the opportunity or the thought to get on here and try it out got the best of you, and I'm happy it did.
Yeah,
all right, good.
I enjoy it a lot. I really love your channel. It's great.
Well, thanks.
Were you watching our videos and shows before you started? How long have you been on YouTube?
Oh, I've been on YouTube forever, and yeah, I've been watching, especially yours. I've been watching yours for a while. Yeah.
Thank you,
I've
man.
just been, it's new to me. It takes a lot. That last video I did, it's only a 7-minute video, I think, but it's amazing what it takes just to produce 7 minutes of video.
Yeah, I just, when I started my channel, I was like, you know what how was I missing from all these other channels when they wouldn't even answer my comments? They wouldn't even, they don't care about who you are. Let me do the exact opposite. Let me bring a voice to all these people that have opinions, I know I met Jeffrey the first time on a live stream I did.
Yeah.
Remember when I opened up I put the link on my live stream and everybody joined?
Yeah.
You joined, and then I think
Wow.
James joined. It was
Yeah.
James.
The ratings went way down on that show.
No, it was great. We had like 7, 8 guys, and I met you guys for the first time. And then after that, you started doing your video. I hope I was an inspiration, because this is what I want to do. I want to be that guy that says, you know what? Hey, here's the little guy. Listen to him, because I think he's got more to say than those bigger channels. Because the other day I was watching Fro, and is like, man, there's so much sponsorship stuff on here. It just turns someone off. Like, I don't want to hear about your sofa or your Skittles.
Your muscles.
It's
I like Skittles. My Fro Pack 1 has Skittles, but you can buy your Fro Pack 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for a discount.
But I understand they have to make money. Maybe keep it at a minimum, and then don't remind us in the middle of the video. We already heard it in the beginning. Don't stop there and say, hey, by the way, But anyway, hey, by the way, Patrick, what's happening? We're going out Saturday if you want to join us.
Yeah, Mr. Patrick said you got in here late. We always enjoy Patrick being in here. Need to get him back up in the panel as well. Oh man.
Hey, my YouTube channel is only a couple months old, and I'm pleased with the progress. It's been fun. It's all new to me.
Yeah, David Stewart was one of those that jumped in. That's when you did put the link up for everybody to get in. That's where I first saw David. Now David's going to be a birder.
No, he'll be killing a lot of birds, I think. Dave, it doesn't count if you kill them, so you could take the picture of them. You got to keep them alive. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Live bird shots only. No taxidermy visits or anything like that. It's got to be the real deal.
Well, Mozman had the right idea. Just go to a pet shop and take all the pictures of exotic birds you want with a small lens.
Yeah.
Just eyeball shots and claw shots and stuff.
Hey, Patrick, I was talking about the U.S. Open of surfing on Saturday. Me and Mozman, we're going to hit that if you want to join us. Hey, Chuck, where did we met through? You contacted me, right? Right?
Yeah, on one of your streams, or not streams, but one of your videos, interview videos, I think. I just commented, hey, how does somebody get on to, this interview thing or whatever? Because at the time, that's when I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? And live stream was a thought, but I had no idea what it was going to turn into. But yeah, I got a hold of you asking, hey, you ever invite other people or something like that?
No, you invited me. I'm like, really?
Well, I did.
On your show?
I did afterwards when I said, okay, I'm just going to go live and we're just going to see how this is going to work. And oh, by the way, I love telling this story. It's, my first couple of videos, the first one, I started my live stream and there was nobody, crickets, nobody watching, nothing. And I talked to myself for about 10 minutes and I said, well, I'm going to shut this down now. Anyway, I did the next one. And one guy showed up, never made a comment, said anything. And I went on for about 15 minutes and realized, okay, this isn't going to work. And after the fact, when it rolled over into a video, he left me a comment. He said, you put me to sleep. And I told my wife and she said, well, you put me to sleep too. So what are you going to change? But anyway, it all worked out great. And it was because of Vahagan too. He was a big inspiration for me. Let's just get in here and do it, because I think he said something to that tune, not to me, but to everybody, just go do it. Quit worrying about what anybody thinks and go do it. So that's exactly what I did. I don't care. I didn't care. I was going to get on here, and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to be on there at least 30 minutes if nobody's there, and I'll talk to myself. And that's
Now
pretty
look
much what I did.
And look at you now. You got 46 constant.
Yeah, it's just been fantastic. And again, though, I go back to, all I do is host it. I just have the platform for everybody to get in here and do their thing. And you know what? That is fine by me, because there's such great people over here in the audience. So yeah, I'm having a ball. I'm just going to keep having a ball.
You know what's awesome about this? Everybody in here, the chats, everybody they're in it, like, they do different genres of photography. Like Patrick is a photojournalist, some are birders, some do sports, product photography, weddings. It's a great Steve Land, by the way. Steve Land has a video. He's on YouTube too. He has a video with the 600 that, if you haven't checked out his channel, Steve Land Photography, go to his YouTube channel, and he has some really good reviews. Steve, when are you going to produce more videos, man?
Hagen's going to put everybody on the spot now.
I enjoy his stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to gear up the pressure on everybody else, because he's going to throttle back a little, and he's going to put more pressure on everybody else. We see this game. We see how this is playing out.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's good to see, man. It's good to see.
It's working on a new one now. All right, great.
I don't know how you guys feel, but some of these bigger channels, it's just, it's self-centered stuff. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, you know what? And again, it goes back to, and I keep saying it over and over and over, because it's so true. It's everybody else out there. It's just, it's kind of like that stupid movie that I didn't care about, but if you build it, they will come. Because, and somebody, I think it was Roy, said, there's just so many people that haven't found us yet. And that's so true. And I would hope that more and more people do find us and can join the community and do what we enjoy doing. And that's just having photography talks. I said this in the beginning. How many people have somebody, and you can't answer this, David, because you have somebody to talk photography with. I talk photography with my wife, and she feigns interest for about 3 minutes. And then, okay, I've had enough of that. What else? You got anything else? No, I just want to talk about this lens. Okay, I don't care. She's very supportive of me, don't get me wrong, but she's not going to, lie to me and say, yeah, I love that, I want to talk about that. No, that isn't going to happen. So this provides an opportunity for all like-minded people to get together. We get to talk about photography. We get to rant a little bit and, and have a good time doing what we enjoy doing. So there you go. That's what this is all about. And that's what Vahagan was doing. And, you guys are great. What can I say?
My wife always says, Jeff, you're talking to yourself again. I says, I know. I'm the only one that's interested in hearing my own voice.
But see,
I mean, she has no interest in photography whatsoever. Once in a while, I'm always ordering prints, and she'll look at them. Oh, I really like that one. It's like, but then she'll say, there's no more room on the walls for any more stuff. Why do you keep ordering prints? Well, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah. Well, see, now Jeffrey's on YouTube. Then we got now an awesome channel, David. Then and by the way, Steve, yes, you did. You were a big influence me getting those 2 lenses. I watched your videos on them.
Moz, man. Oh, and Jeff just posted too. Leslie loves talking about the photos and photography, and that's great. My wife, she will look at the photos sometimes, and she's my best critic, because she will let me know, no, why did you do that? That's stupid. And, she's just honest with me. And that's always good because we've talked about that before. If you're thinking about becoming a professional photographer and you're basing that on your family and friends telling you how great you are,
Yeah.
don't unless
No.
you have somebody that's going to be honest with you, because they won't. They'll tell you, yeah, it's great or whatever. You need to go elsewhere and find others to talk about it. But my wife, I wouldn't have to worry about it. She'd let me know in a hurry. She gets mad at me. She'll go back and watch these streams or parts of them, and she'll say, "Why didn't you mention likes and subscribers?" And I did. Well, I didn't hear it. You don't say it enough. But that's what she does to me constantly. She's all about this growing, not for her, but for me for some reason. More so than I am, I think, at times.
Well, I can tell you, it's real expensive when your wife shoots alongside you. You double the money on everything.
Yeah,
John,
But it's a good,
No,
it's a good way.
what you did wrong was you buy one camera and 3 or 4 lenses, and you say, okay, you shoot for an hour, and then give it to me, and I shoot for an hour.
There's no
You got
fun in
if
that.
you make the mistake where you both got to be able to shoot at the same time, then you're broke. Then you're broke.
Yeah, I started this by buying her a camera. That's how I started this about whatever it was 11 years ago. Bought her a camera. Then it just took off from there.
John
yeah.
Ishii does the same. His wife is into this. Well, she has like Hasselblads and this and that, but
Yeah, she's got Leicas and all sorts of stuff.
yeah.
Hey, David, and this is what we do here, by the way, if you're not familiar with it, David, we bounce all over the place because I can't maintain focus. I'm watching comments over here. But hey, David Stewart, I brought that up the other day. And if you guys, I tell everybody, I'm telling everybody now, you need to put together a photo walk with group or folks in your area. I know it's not easy to find them or whatever, but I will guarantee you will have a ball at a meetup. And I did, after I went down to New York City. Whether you shoot a photo or not, and we're testament to that, you'll still have a ball getting together with some photographers like that. And again, if you guys want to do that, and I don't know how much coverage or whatever, how much I can influence it, but let me know, and I'll make sure it goes out on every live stream until you actually do the photo walk. And again, I don't know if that'll help or not, but we'll give it a shot. So I encourage you, get out and do it, man. Matthew Card's talking about the big photo walk. We talked about that the other day, worldwide, August 13th, Steve Kelby's idea or concept. And I guess they've got worldwide attention now. You can become a part of that through the website, or you can just go do one yourself. Either way, I think you're going to be happy. Just get everybody together. So, hey, David Stewart, thanks for bringing that up, man.
It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you Art Bear and Albert get together in New York. It's good to see Mossman get together with Jeffrey. Me and Mossman go out. It's good to see this community just get together and do this. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be so quiet, D-Moots.
Hey, I'm just listening, taking it in, and checking out the chat.
Well,
You got some nice work on your channel. I really highly recommend people go and check it out. I mean, it's
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I was totally shocked and blown away when I saw my video on Nikon rumors the other day.
Great,
that
man.
Was totally unexpected.
That's great. So who picked that up? Broxy Bear, by chance?
I'm not real sure.
Usually you'll see him. He scours the web looking for all content, a lot of content, and I guess he's well thought of over there by Peter. So he's constantly putting up content that he finds on the web.
Gotcha.
When it's Nikon related. He's really good about that.
Yeah, it's good to get recognized sometimes, It's just, that's cool,
Yeah, absolutely. And again, congratulations to both of you. I did not know that your video was over there. I have been taking a break from Nikon rumors lately. I'll just go in and check every now and then, but I haven't been following it like I used to.
Last time I went in there, it took control of my computer when I clicked on something, and I had to call Apple to get it fixed on me. So I'm not in a hurry to go back to the website.
Oh, and Matthew just said the Worldwide Photo Walk's been going on since 2008. And I know that Matthew's been one of the walk leaders a few times or so. So he's the one that sent me the information about it. Yeah, again, I encourage everybody, whether you wait for the 13th or whatever you do, just get out there, man. When you get a few photographers together, there were 4 of us, and we didn't take a picture. We wound up just talking the whole time, having a good time, talking about, cameras, shooting, this, that, and everything else. I guarantee you'll have a good time.
Hey, Chuck, did you see Fritz?
No. And if you guys haven't seen Vahagen's video of random strangers on the street asking them photography questions, Mozman is a natural. He needs to get a job in TV because he's just a natural. And Vahagen's concept and idea was just fantastic. It's a lot of fun watching it.
Fritz be fro. that guy was classic. Fro be Fritz.
There's Ted. Ted can attest. We had a great time. We had such a good time.
I wish I was there, man. I'd love to just meet everyone.
Well, that's what WPPI is for. For those that can attend, don't go out there to learn about wedding or portrait photography unless you want to, but come out to be part of the big meetup that we're going to try to put together. WPPI in March out in Las Vegas. My wife's already given me the nod. We're going. So I can't wait to go out there and meet a whole lot of people. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
yeah, that's going to be fun. Hey, Greg Wilson, I don't want to put you out on a 7-hour drive, but we'll be there Saturday.
Pressure's on now. The pressure's on. You got to show up. I'll tell you, I had a lot of fun with on 2 of the Osprey trips I did. A friend of mine that I shoot with 2 or 3 times a week, we decided to rent a pontoon boat, and he used to have a boat all the time, so we appointed him captain. And then a few guys that we know from frequenting the same areas that we shoot, we said, hey, do you guys want to go on the boat trip too? Split the cost. And they said, sure. So we did 2 trips with myself, my friend, 2 other people that we knew, and 2 spouses. And we had a great time and talk about, just sharing information. Like you're saying, get together with other photographers, rent a boat, go on a quick boat trip or something down.
Yeah.
If you got a river or a lake or something where you have subject matter, that is a great way to have a great time. Pack a lunch with you, make a 4 or 5 hour event out of it, or a full day if you can handle the sun. And we had a great time. It was fantastic. We're going to do it again next year too.
Yeah, I'd like to think that that's what these channels bring, is the opportunity for people to meet and just find a connection, somehow, somewhere, and just you getting together with Mozman because of travel, and you can put that together. That's great.
Yeah, I look forward. I hope he when he comes down, we get to meet up again at least a couple times. It was a blast and kind of eerie. We kind of had a lot in common, got along real well, and it was very enjoyable. I had a great time.
Hey,
I'm heading to Sebastian Inlet the last week of September, first week of October for Osprey. That'll be my first time down at Sebastian Inlet for a mullet run.
Where are you at, David? So
I'm in Kansas, just out of downtown Kansas City.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you near Z Wade?
He's in Wichita.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
but I like being
he
here.
Can have you guys could switch genres, you could do like a show where you teach him how to shoot birds and he teaches you how to shoot models. That would be really cool.
Hey, I've shot people. I'd rather shoot wildlife.
Yeah.
I like being in Kansas, though. It's centrally located for me to travel.
Hey, Sith Sense asks, what's going on, Sith? We're gonna meet at the Huntington Beach Pier. I'm planning a trip to Portland, Maine. I don't know when, but I wanna visit that area,
I do too.
Boston.
That'd be great.
You got to hit the Portland Head Lighthouse, oldest lighthouse in Maine. You got to go there and get pictures of the lighthouse.
Yep.
There you go. See, here we go. We're going to make it happen. Mozman's all over it. Anybody that wants to go, he's already saying we can plan out some content prior. I'll know what I should bring.
Yeah. Just give me a call when you come. Just give me a call the week before you come down. We'll try to set up some places we could go.
Well, I think he's talking more about this surfing contest or surfing thing that's going on.
Thing. Yeah, that would be
for people that people might want to show up. Be careful what you ask for, Vahagan. You might get a whole bunch of people that want to show up and have a good time with you.
That'll be awesome, man. I'll get the camera rolling, make an episode out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny
they actually have surfing clubs down here in Myrtle Beach, but the waves they don't last very long. You get very short runs on the surfboard. It's kind of funny to watch people trying to surf down here. It's like, okay, there they are, up, done. It doesn't last real long.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. So Mozman was talking about you. He's bringing it all next time, Jeffrey. You guys need to put on a whole.
Man, you got so much gear now. You're gonna have to rent like a huge U-Haul to come down here to bring your gear. I don't know. He's gonna have to have a special photo van.
All right, cool. So I got to throw this in here. I've been watching Shark Week, and I don't like that as much as I used to because now they get these idiot celebrities that they're not funny and they're stupid and everything else. But I still like some of the other content in Shark Week. However, watching the shark attacks, keep that 600 rolling, V. I don't wish this upon anybody, but man, it seems like great whites are at odds with people now. You may get more than you bargained for with your big lens.
Man, there's gonna be so many people there. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. Well, I was joking with Mozman. I'm like, last time we were there doing the surfing thing, there was an official photographer there at the event, and he was using like an f4 7200, an older Canon. We show up with two Z9s, 600 f4. We show up with a bunch of equipment with these gimbals, and they were like looking like, where are these guys from? What agency?
What agency?
Yeah.
Is this ESPN?
No, that's when you say we work for the government. That's all you need to know.
This one guy's like, are you guys from OnlyFans?
OnlyFans.
I'm like,
no. Oh man. Hey BFS, great man, with an old 4x5 Polaroid and a Leica. Cool. Or Leica or whatever it is. I don't know how to say it.
I just say Leica. You got a Leica, the Leica.
There you go. Asked the girl on the street, take some photos. Turns out she was a PT model, and that was a whole afternoon photo op. Great. And that's what comes from doing these things. That's cool. You got to share some of the photos, man.
Hey, Steve Land, where are you from? What area? That's definitely crazy, man. And the people that are not photographers that you see like, oh, that's an awesome camera.
Yeah.
Who's here? What are you shooting?
Well, what I used to hate, my late mother-in-law, and my wife knows it, used to raise the hairs on the back of my neck because I don't have any on my head. My mother-in-law used to always say, boy, your camera takes such great photos.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't have anything to do with it. The camera did everything. So that used to frost me, and I used to just like bite my tongue. So yeah, it's all about the camera. Yeah, absolutely.
Detroit area up in Michigan.
That's cool.
Man, there's some winners up there, aren't there?
Yeah. Funny story I want to tell. When last time me and Mozman were out doing that review, this one lady comes up to us. Remember Mozman? She's like, "Can I take a look in your viewfinder? I want to see how close you are with that big lens." And I had the 400 on the 2.8. So she looks. She had like the surprised look on her face. She said, "That's it. I was thinking you're really up close." When they see the 400, 2.8 lens, they think you're like you see the bird's eye or something.
Yeah.
It's like a telescope, and she was shocked that it wasn't really like what she was expecting. So
Yeah. A lot of people think that with these big lenses.
They think you could get the bug that's on the back of the bird
Yeah.
that's flying, and
yeah.
So people in a crowd in an event, they see somebody with a super telephoto lens, and everybody starts shying away, thinking, "Well, he can see me no matter where I'm at, or he can do this or that." But you're right; people have they don't know how much it helps a photographer to have a 600 millimeter lens or 800 or whatever it may be. But then when they see, they're not impressed. They have no idea how much difference it makes having that lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
there you go. Mozman. She was a photographer, but assumed the 400-2.8 was a 1200 millimeter due to the size. Oh,
we meet some characters out there, man. Like people coming up to us, and a lot of them are nice. Like they're courteous. They go, "Oh, sorry, they're passing us." I'm like, "No problem. We're just here having fun."
that's cool, Steve. That's really cool, man. I bet kids do get a kick out of that because they're always straining to see the animal, especially when they're not up close. That's cool.
Man, I'm reading these comments, Chuck. I'm trying to.
I know, me too. You know how I am. That's Jeffrey helps me out quite often with keeping me on track.
He's trying to budge Jeffrey. Come on, man.
Shoot, no, Jeffrey does. He keeps me straight. I don't even realize how far I am behind, and he's answering the question to somebody I don't even know is, in the chat because they've been in the chat for 15 minutes and I'm still way back there on the comments. Yeah, I know what you mean, Moz, man. What do you say?
I'd never forget that time when me and
that's a real camera.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should see my cheap plastic one.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
never say lens, they say camera.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, yeah.
They never say lens. Yeah.
Hey, David, that's funny. Yeah, it's a portrait lens.
Yeah.
The two mats are never wrong. Absolutely. There you go. That was
And
a
they-
bit ridiculous watching Matt Irwin with that 800 and the guy chasing her with the light. It worked, but it was kind of funny to watch.
Oh, it's funny, man.
Matt Granger did the same thing with his 800.
Yep.
Hey, the best is
Oh.
when they ask you about the lens, like people that are not into photography. They ask you something and then you tell them. It's like, yeah, they nod their head like, all right, yeah, I know.
Jeff's taking off to pretend to do some housework before his wife gets home. Yeah, make it look good. Stack up the newspaper nice and neat, the magazines. Do a little dust where she walks into the house, and don't do the rest. You'll be okay.
Wow. I didn't know how common this was. Steve and his wife have bookend Z9s too. So, wow.
Nice.
Wow, Steve, I didn't know that. That's cool. Hey,
All right. You know what?
Hey.
I am going to shut this down in a minute because I've got to go do my chores too. I don't get a pass from my wife, and I don't argue with her about it because she always wins. but I do have my chores to get done. But anyway, hey guys, I just want to start out the ending here by saying I really appreciate everybody being in here. Thank you for the likes and for those that have subscribed, RS subscribed today, and I really appreciate that. We continue to grow a couple of subscribers at a time, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy with that. With that said, I owe it all to you guys, and not just you guys, but the guys in here in the panel today in the show. David Moots, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got a lot to bring to the conversations, man. I hope we continue to see you. Vahagan, thank you for jumping in. I know you had a week of just relaxation and everything and maybe a little trouble getting home, but thank you for stepping in today. And
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. And my buddy, Jeffrey Neville, he doesn't fail me. He's going to one of these days because he's going to have something to do, and I don't know how I'll handle it. But maybe, David, because there is a similarity here.
I don't have my, here we go.
There you go. All right. All right.
Look, except now I can't see the screen.
You look like brothers.
Another brother that I didn't know I had.
Yeah.
I got Mozman and David, man. I tell you, my family is expanding.
All right. So let me just close with this one, this piece about the photo review. We're going to have the photo review. We're going to do that on August 6th. Everybody's welcome to send a photo, because if we get a lot of people that do this, we're not going to have time to go through multiple photos, but send a photo, send it to my email that's crawling across the bottom there with a heading or the title of the email, just photo review submission or something along that line, so I know and I don't miss it. We're going to do it on August 6th. That's a Saturday night. That'll be dedicated to just this, and we can all get in and have a good time talking about it. I don't think I have any other time sensitive stuff. Oh, we'll have a guest on this Saturday night coming up. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's Sanjit Paul from Malaysia. He's a conservationist out there. And I will put all his information in the reminder for that show. And I encourage you guys to go check him out. I'm really curious. I'm really happy that he's coming on. He contacted me and said he'd love to be on the show. So evidently he's watched us and he's not afraid of us. He wants to interact with you, the audience. So I encourage everybody to get ready to do that. And Vahagan, he's called the rock and roll photographer over there. How cool is that?
Oh, conflict.
And I have a picture of him, so I think you guys would get along too. So anyway, that's Saturday night. More information to follow in the reminder. All right. Thank all of you for being in here. Let's go around the horn. We'll start with you, Vahagan, and jump to David and finish with Mr. Jeffrey Neville. And I want you to just say your goodbye or whatever and plug your channel. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Man, it's Vahography on YouTube, and enjoy these live streams, and I love all you guys, man. So rock and roll.
Thanks, Vahagan. David?
Hey, I appreciate letting me in here, and you can check me out on D Moots Photography on YouTube. It's all one word, and I really appreciate it. Just for a new YouTuber getting started, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I've been shooting for a while, but YouTube thing is, as far as uploading videos, is new to me, but it's been great so far. I really appreciate it.
Well,
thank you, man. Thank you for being and joining us, especially short notice. Appreciate you being here and answering questions that people had about the lenses as well. Jeffrey.
Yeah. Well, just want to thank everybody for putting up with me again and letting me be on your show. And if you guys haven't watched enough YouTube, go on Selective Imagery and check out my channel. And this week I might only be doing one video because I kind of screwed up my knees doing too much beach walking. So I'm not a beach walker. My knees don't like it. So I'm in recovery. I'm a beach walker and I have a problem. But anyway, love everybody. Thanks for visiting the channel and joining us. And Chuck, appreciate your time.
Well, no, thanks to you all. Go
And
ahead,
one more
Vahagan.
thing, I just want to say, if you guys want to join us Saturday, I don't know when the start time is. I'll take a look at the website. But if you want to join us and coordinate something, go ahead and just email me at vahography@yahoo.com, and we'll get in touch with you and make that happen. I know me and Mozman are going to be there, but I don't know who else. So,
All right, man. Anybody got any last minute parting wisdom or events or anything you want to bring up?
No.
Well, I do. Steve Land just weighed in.
3 bulbs in a Chuck.
Change the name of the channel.
hey, I'm bald too, so 4
What
balls.
is it? 3 blind men and an elephant? Isn't that
Yeah.
what Hugh Brown does?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chuck,
Oh,
we
man.
could just call you the Larry King of live streams.
There you go. Hey.
Ooh.
Oh. All right, guys. With that said, I guess we're going to get out of here. But thanks to everybody. Thanks for all you joining the show. And thanks to everybody in the audience. Looking forward to Saturday night. I'll get the reminder out a little sooner than usual. And make sure you have a chance to look that over before. And go check out Sanjit Paul, the rock and roll photographer of Malaysia. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Vahagan to send us out. I pulled it on you, didn't I? I'm not going to let you tell me to do it.
All right. Well, guys, you've been watching Chuck Talks on AP Studios, and we'll catch you on a future live stream. Rock and roll.
There it is. All right, folks. Have a good rest of the week. God bless you all. Can't wait to see you again. Thank you for being a part of it.